not last. So I'm really keeping an eye on the adjustments that John Cooper is going to make, saying he's playing a system that lets your talent breathe. Let's see what happens in that.
You've played really, really well. Continue to build if you're Team Canada. This is like a trap game where you're expected to win. You're expected to win by a large margin.
Decider for the first time in the tournament. Connor McDavid will face off to start. And back with Tom Wilson and Macklin Celebrini up against the line that kickstarted France yesterday. He's got Nick Suzuki on one wing and Brandon Hagel on the other. Here's Suzuki into French territory, and McKinnon with a little tap. Trying to get that to the net. Suzuki comes up with it. Back to Downey, trying to get that through, and it hit Junka. And McDavid couldn't find the loose puck at the side. Wilson comes up with it. He'll fire it back. Downey shooting, kicked away, rebound, scores! Tom Wilson on the board.
That's Tom Wilson's kind of goal. He needed that to feel good about his game. Forecheck, win a physical battle, and get to the front of the net. He does them all. As puck is worked out right there. As Wilson knocks the cost off the puck, gets it out to...
Well, John Cooper does say he can light up the room, and he has certainly been a positive force behind the scenes, and now he's on the score sheet as well. That's, by the way, the first assist for Doughty in the tournament. Here's a chance, rebound, scores! And France has come right back on a goal by Florian Douay. "13 seconds later, a stunning.
The fourth line goes to work. It won't break, though. That is a terrible pass. Just not very on it, and then he gets back to the front of the net, staring at the puck, doesn't look for Douay. Stick gets past his skate, and Douay able to corral the rebound and throw it in the empty net, but just a really tough turnover.
Knocked away, and Bertrand starts back. Here's Bertrand. He corkscrews himself into the
got two,
ice.
got three.
And yes, it'll be Crosby. It'll be Stone and Taves. Come on, Taves scores. And maybe the shootout's begun.
Maybe it is the floodgates. As Makar pokes it out, Cale Makar gets it to Crosby. Crosby kicks it back to Devon Taves. And what's great about Taves here, he doesn't try to overpass. He doesn't try to thread one to the back door. He says, I'm 20 feet away. I got it. I can shoot and score from here. And he goes.
Here's DaCosta. Texier. And that's stolen by Stone. Mark Stone's in. Looking for a short-handed goal. Scores. And Canada has a 2-goal lead.
Enough, like he always is. Texier, tough turnover there. Bosk is trying to catch him. Markstone protects it. I don't know, maybe fans on that one as he cuts underneath it, but he gets it above the pad and below the glove of Junka, and that's a huge goal, Chris. Make it 3, just 3 seconds left on the clock. You weren't sure if he's going to get caught. Can he get the shot away?
Parayko on him. Dropped off here, and Ovi2 with the shot. And it's dumped away, and now a race for it.
Move a little quicker.
They start with a face-off win. McDavid off the boards. We'll size it up. Crosby alongside of the net. Makar the point man. Makar in. Makar scores! That was lethal, and it's 4-1. 15 seconds into the power play, and Cale Makar has his first Olympic goal.
You're starting in the zone, and McDavid isolates Texier. Boudon gets stuck in a little deep, and then once Makar starts walking, freezes Boudon. There's also Gallet, there's Reinhardt, and Junka just can't see. Look at eyes up the whole time. He's looking for the goaltender, and he's looking for the seam. Cale Makar as good.
Celebrini working his way into the middle. David off the boards. Look at this. Wilson, stop by Shudkov.
Stop!
After a sensational setup from 97. Celebrini looks across.
Parking back door, battling for space. He puts it right on the tee. Seam passes to the back door. He's getting his pads to.
He's got Celebrini to deal with now. And pulled down.
Penalty shot.
Do we get a penalty shot? Yes! And 19-year-old Macklin Celebrini. Rick Celebrini, dad anxiously watching. What's the kid got this time? Goals in each of the first two. And on the penalty shot, got another. Macklin Celebrini, 5-1 Canada.
It's so great. He's so young.
Here's an alley-oop look for Stone, broken up by GX Billy, and Stone took it away. Maybe another chance. Scores! It slides in, and Sidney Crosby has scored. These two goals come 19 seconds apart, and Troy Crosby is on his feet.
Well, for all the great saves and near misses, Canada probably feels like they deserve a break.
Next gen. And for Celebrini, the youngest to ever score in the NHL or at the Olympics on a penalty shot. Here they come again. McDavid, dazzling. And it's 7-1. Welcome to the game, Antoine Keller. As the French change their goaltenders, but not their luck. And the McDavid clan.
You can do with this. It's a give, Celebrini to go, and poor Jules Bosk, he's skating as fast as he can. He just can't go fast enough. Split the D, and then Keller trying to get to the post first. No chance with that kind of speed. Fresh ice, flat puck, easy tuck, and a 20-second in goal for Connor McDavid, which makes it 3 games in a...
But after sort of a slow start, they just have kind of been grinding away, but there's one back. Wow, Sasha Trey let it go. That's the 38-year-old who finally got a chance to play in the Olympics, and now he can say he is an Olympic goal scorer.
And that's the other part of the equation. We focus on goals for. There's the other goals against component of it. On the fourth line, Adamo kicks it out, and he takes a big swing at that one and puts it right by Jordan Binnington off the elbow. Or under the elbow.
France added because Russia was not allowed to take part, and now he has his Olympic moment. Here's a spin around shot, and Binnington reaches back to make sure that doesn't squeak through. Theodore to Horvat. 5 minutes into the third. Horvat, Keller with the stop. Back to Shea Theodore. Side of the net, Bennett. Another drive, and they score! Bo Horvat, sharp angle. 8-2 Team Canada.
But a grinding possession, attack and retrieve. And Bo Horvat, who's had plenty of looks in today's game, jumps on the short side rebound and tucks it home from a tight angle. But Horvat's been good at getting chances in these games so far. There is a continual battle for ice time on that fourth line, and that was the best.
Here goes McKinnon hopping in. Nathan McKinnon across, scores! Brandon Hagel is on the board, and it's 9 for Canada.
This line needed this. This line has been sort of shuffled around at times, working to find their chemistry. McKinnon comes on and off. Hagel has hit the post already on a glorious chance earlier. His Olympic goal. Quick up to Nathan McKinnon, 3-on-2. He tries to draw 2 in, kick it for a one-timer, and good finish by Brandon Hagel. 9th goal is good, +7's good. and this line finding some chemistry may be most important. Big
Theodore, Celebrini, second unit is out. And Marner gets it to Stone. Here's a chance, Celebrini scores! Got another!
This kid is so good. So good. Second unit, not too shabby. Rip it, glove side. Good plays under pressure. Marner, Stone, and then it's a little bit like the Makar walk, except he's going laterally, trying to get guys to bite to block a shot, and then get to a better spot, fly by a screen. Keller's miles out of the net, but does not matter. Celebrini, somebody might want to play on the ice.
Oh, they might. Almost got caught. DeCosta cross. There's a shot. Binnington the save. It was almost a replay, although not shorthanded of the...
When I came home, no matter when it was, I always wanted turkey dinner at my grandparents'.
Rated PG.
Youth mental health.
Who else? Montreal wins!
And that is why she is the best in the world. Captain Clutch.
She breaks the Frost heart again in overtime. Talby, good effort! Oh! That's a wonderful goal from Shamseen Talby. One thing on his mind, set it, hit it, execute it. He does it all. Quite brilliant from Talby. Just magnificent. Takes the return pass from Yossi. That's a pinball around from rebound. Oh, it's stopped by Reimer. James Reimer dives across and takes away a sure goal. James Reimer keeps it a 3-0 game. Sometimes it's not just style, it's just throwing what you can at it.
Came to OU after 3 seasons at Miami. And that was a lazy pass, 3-on-2 the other way. Brazil all the way, swatted to the bench.
Good effort here by Wagee of coming in out of nowhere and doing something to Trevor Brazil. He historically does to others. And it looked like he got it right there at the top.
Over on the south course on the 16th to par 3, Tony Finau.
Be great to see Tony find some form this year after a bit of a struggle last year. Maybe a 1.
Oh my God!
Tony Finau leaving no doubt at the 16th with an ace. What a shot. I mean, this rolled in like a putt. What a beautiful shot.
Boom. Kurt, that's the most subdued celebration for a hole-in-one on the PGA Tour I think I've ever seen.
Oh, what? What was that? Oh, it went in?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay,
all right.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
You name it. Just coiled. Shot stopped by Vladar. Comes across. Oh, Fantilli is robbed. What a save by Vladar.
Passes it over Fantilli. He doesn't shoot it right away. He settles it down and look at Vladar.
What a save. Tim has picked it up since then.
Sure has. Behind the back.
What a pass by Jokic.
There's your highlight, a pass.
Sensational pass and a flying finish.
I'm back. Get ready to see that on every video, on the social media. How do you put a staple? I'm back. Well, that right there does a pretty good sign.
Pulls up, Gain's in front, O'Brien on the rebound, Bennett got across, Maholtra's there. Oh my goodness gracious. Trenton Bennett. Wow, he was only covering 1/3 of the net, and that big, long arm of Trenton Bennett comes across and makes that stop. Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
Hamburg get on with it, and look at this, Philippe having just come on, they're scrambling, the defenders trying to get back, and Davies with the clearance, denying Vieira, Alphonso Davies. How important could that be in the story of this game? Stefan just revisiting Philippe, and then
CVC and Petro-Canada are proud partners in bringing you
Petro-Canada Olympic Winter Games morning.
It's quarterfinal time in Milan. Canada arrives confident, composed, battle-ready. They know this stage, they've owned it, and maybe they think they've got this. In early round, they made a statement, turned the ice into a highlight reel.
Scooped in front, scores! Stone from Martyr! Bo Horvat scores! They score! Off Suzuki! On the feed by McDavid! McDavid! Oh, Dostal! Did you see that?
But the Czechs, they want this big time. They know our roster, and they're hunting for revenge. Canada comes in loaded. Czechia comes in fearless.
0-for-1, McDavid across, scores. That was easy and lethal, and Nathan McKinnon.
This is knockout hockey now. Win or go home. Quarterfinal round, Canada versus Czechia.
Patrick Roy used to say the encore performance is the hardest. So Canada beat David Pastrnak in Czechia. Now they got to do it again, as James was mentioning here at Santa Julia. These guys thinking about ways to score big goals. Goaltenders are thinking about ways to prevent them. You think he isn't in the crosshairs? Goaltenders in a one-game winner-take-all. Elliot, you touched on it. Dostal is a consideration here. You know, when you thought about Jeremy Swayman's blooper against Denmark, it was a moment that reminded us all of Salt Lake City in 2002. A lot of people think Swayman lost it in the dark rink boards. So what they did is they went to Sharon McKenzie, James Duthie's architect, and they changed them, as you see, to light blue, so it's better. Here's 0-2. There's Tommy Salo. Devastating. Belarus broke a 3-3 tie with 3 to go and went on to upset the Swedes in the quarters. However, I will say a great team usually will pick up a great goaltender. There's Claude Lemieux, 89, Game 6, Stanley Cup, Mike Vernon. Sorry, Kelly Rudy, to show that. But what did Calgary do? They picked him up, and that's what has to happen because of your architect, James. There won't be a dark shot today. Over to you at Santa Julia.
Ron, thank you. You talk about 0-2. Let's go back to 98. That is the last time Canada played Czechia in an elimination game at the Olympics with NHLers in it. You know what happened there. Hasek stoned them. Gretzky never got off the bench in the shootout. 6 of the Canadians weren't born there. Most of them were little kids. So we're not going to build up a revenge for 98 storyline here. But how does this Canadian juggernaut, as we watch them take to the ice, avoid the upset?
When Team Canada assembled this team, they looked at the players and they wanted guys that were winners, guys that had won Stanley Cups, big game players. Sam Reinhart was one of the original 6 that was named to this team. He is a big game player. He's been relatively quiet, but he's in that first unit. I look for him to have a big game tonight, and a big, important one.
You know, this is a different beast than any game they played so far in this tournament. Obviously, an elimination game. One game takes all, and Radek Faksa out of the lineup for Czechia. That's going to hurt their depth and help Canada a little bit, but focus on building on your game, but this has to be your best.
Marchand in, McKinnon in, Bennett out, Morrissey out, James Natchez is the red-hot Czech. 5 points in their last 5 goals.
The preliminary round was fun for John Cooper and company, but that agonizing 12-year wait was really to watch this collection of superstars play in games like this one. Win or go home. Chris Cuthbert and Mike Johnson have the call.
Thank you, James. It is go time. Quarterfinal day in men's hockey. Canada and Czechia in a return engagement after that 5-0 win by Team Canada in the opener. Radim Rulik had to dress down his team after 2 periods last night. They got by Denmark to get here. and the quarterfinals. And there is Lukas Dostal, who won his first game of the tournament last night. Just one win, Mike, but plenty of respect that he is capable of shutting it down against the very best in the world, guys like Connor McDavid.
Dostal gives Czechia that puncher's chance of a great goaltending performance that could stifle Canada. And maybe up front it's David Pastrnak, who has been, by his standards, slightly quiet. He can be a game breaker as well for Canada, for Czechia.
So you see Connor McDavid out to start this game, along with Tom Wilson and Macklin Celebrini. Here's the veteran 40-year-old Roman Skirvenka. Scored again yesterday. Chris Rudy of the United States. Mikael Holm of Sweden with David Briesblom and Johnny Murray on the lines. Winner goes to the semis and will get a chance to play for a medal. The loser will go home 5-0 again in the opening game of Group A. And here we go. Connor McDavid with 3 consecutive 3-point games. Last time he had 4 straight 3-point games was back in 2021. Radim Šimić plays it around. Kept in at the line, and here is Wilson looking to center. It's McDavid with a chance, and Dostal out beyond the blue to make the first tough stop of the game. What a chance to get it started. Now Sedlak firing it in on Binnington. Both goaltenders have had a touch 29 seconds in.
Connor McDavid, the guy you want with a puck on his stick and open ice. The forecheck turns it over to keep from Makar, and Tom Wilson's got a great sense. And McDavid is trying to open up Dostal with the stick handles and the fakes, and he just gets it a little bit elevated into the pad. There was a spot open, he just missed it.
Nathan MacKinnon on the ice, and he wins the draw to Drew Doughty. The aerial to center, looking to spring Brandon Hagel. And Gudas with the puck that deflects into the scorer's area.
Well, welcome back,
some early bumps.
Brad Marchand. A little chat for Philip Schlappick for the finish as the puck was going into the stands. And Brad Marchand has missed a couple games, goes right back onto the Nathan MacKinnon line. As Czechia almost tongue-in-cheek talking about how great Canada was, how it's impossible to beat them twice in a row, knowing that they're going to have to elevate everything they do in this game relative to what they did the first time they played each other.
Here's a line that has been terrific, consistent for Team Canada so far. It's Crosby along with Marner and Stone. Mitch Marner with the puck. David Kampf centering the line for Czechia. Dostal out to play that for Gudas. Michael Kempny ahead. At center, it's Kampf sending it in. Binnington stops it up for Thomas Harley, who with Drew Doughty has shined through the preliminary round of this tournament. That puck fumbled by Andre Palat, and coming back to take it is David Tomaszek.
Good shift, MacKinnon right back out there.
Oh, a turnover here. Marchand's on it. Across, and MacKinnon couldn't get it in his wheelhouse. It was Natchez who turned that over, and now Palat will get rid of it to center. Natchez, who's been the best player for Czechia and has scored the first goal for Czechia in each of the last 2 games. Palat up ahead, Filip Hronek, who has been very good on defense for Czechia. That shot deflecting wide of the net and cycled back. Turning away Hagel. Parayko up the boards, and Team Canada is going to flip it out to center. Fired back in by Hronek. Swept around by Taves. That's too far for Sanheim, but sent down the ice by Bo Horvat. Out on the line with Sam Reinhart and Nick Suzuki. It'll come to Taves behind the net, and that jumped the stick of Horvat. Trying to get it back. And now Czechia takes control. Little interference from the referee there, and it creates a turnover. Maybe a chance, but that glanced off the skate to Reinhart. Back the other way goes Stransky, and offside called as Stransky was ready to let it fly.
Stransky's trying to get the blue line. Pasternak trying to stay on side, just offside. And you mentioned Marty Necas, who has been the best Czech forward in this tournament. The danger of overskating it. It's wide open. McKinnon wants it. See him bang his stick on the ice, demanding it. And the pass had to be hard to be in front of the Czech defender's stick, and it kind of handcuffed McKinnon, so he wasn't able to pull the trigger.
So Pasternak on the ice, McDavid, Celebrini, and Wilson. Coming off the Gordie Howe hat trick against France. Doughty from the red line fires it in. Knocked down out of midair by Dostal. Quickly out comes Czechia. Here's Cervenka to the line. That pass went off McDavid. Trying to take off again. He steals. He's in. Drop. Celebrini scores! Celebrini's got his 5th, and it's another setup by Connor McDavid.
One of the elements that is different when you play Canada is the speed of the close, whether it's on the back check by Connor McDavid, whether it's on the up ice forecheck, and that's Pasternak that McDavid turns over with just his speed and his pressure, and Macklin Celebrini can't stop scoring. That release from Celebrini makes it 1-0 Canada.
So 5 goals for Celebrini, 10 points for McDavid, and a 1-0 Canada lead at 3:05 of this opening period.
Just you have to be ready to make decisions faster when Canada is closing as quickly as they do.
2 shifts and a couple of chances for McDavid's line already. And they break through on the second shift of the game. We should note one of the differences from the first meeting. It feels like a more pro-Team Canada crowd here. Boy, the Czechs filled the building for the opening game, but not as many here last night or today with the Czechia flags. Here comes Necas in. Across it goes. Rebound. Chance of that off the side of the net. After the initial shot was punched out. Close call as Schlappick let it go. Now Camp tied up by Stone. Philip Schlappick did not play the first game against Team Canada. He's had a goal in 2 of the 3 games since. And after Binnington made the stop, what a chance for Necas. You were in the shooting lane there, and did he have an open net, Mike?
He sure did. He just couldn't quite get to it fast enough. Similar to the goal that Binnington gave up last game, rebound control.
That shot blocked, and it'll be kept in as Kasha overskated it to the near side, and Palat comes back. Czechia changing their lines for the first time these 2 teams met. They loaded up the first time. Stransky a chance, and that is stopped by Binnington. And Crosby may have a break. Here's Crosby, a backhand, and he sent that wide. Jan Ruda ahead. Too far for Stransky, and back is Harley. Big collision there at the line as Jarvis got hit by Ruda. Ruda was injured on a cross-check by Nathan McKinnon and missed a couple games. He returned to the Czechia lineup last night. Here's Seth Jarvis to work. Jarvis in front, and Horvat tried to redirect that to Reinhart. It'll come across for Harley. His shot right on. Rebound, and Dostal got his glove on that quickly. Jarvis stirring it up in front.
The pace down here is breathtaking, Chris. Up and down they go. And Canada put so much pressure on the opposition with their pace, but Czechia will be dangerous in the counterattack. Canada gets caught up ice, and David Camp here, he just has the puck bounce over his stick as he tries to swat at the empty net. No miss for Macklin Celebrini. Clean handle, clean release, and the stubby follow-through into the shin pad of Pasternak makes it almost impossible for Dostal to pick up where that shot was going.
First teenager for Team Canada to score in an elimination game in a best-on-best tournament. So Celebrini keeps making history. Tournament leader in goals. Back to work. Here he comes again. And he'll cycle it down for Wilson. Tried to get it to McDavid off his stick. Pasternak flips it away. And dumped into Team Canada territory by Sedlak. After it, he'll play it back to Kempney. Into the corner where it's Theodore up the boards. Tapped ahead. And McDavid just had it knocked off his stick. Celebrini was loose for a potential 2-on-1. Kempney back. Gudas, a long shot. Nathan McKinnon after it along the boards. Up with it, back to Gudas, and he fired that wide. Natchez is on it. Here's Natchez with 7 points in the tournament. Checked by McKinnon. There's the two Colorado Avalanche line mates battling, and that went through the goal mouth and out the other side. That's a theme throughout this day. NHL teammates head-to-head against each other. And now out it comes for Hagel. Up for Marchand, and he'll roll it in and turn back on a chain. Empty out at center. Hurdle spins it on to the left side. Pass back for Hurdle, broken up. Crosby, here's Stone with Marner, and that'll slide right to Dostal, and he'll cover as Ruda chops Stone's stick, and somebody has a broken stick down there at the end of the play. Team Canada celebrates the icebreaker in the quarters.
They put in my McNugget dip.
We put it on your McCrispy.
They even put it on my McMuffin.
Yeah, they put that on everything. The Frank's Red Hot menu, only at McDonald's for a limited time.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players with our mouth-watering menu of popular and exclusive games.
I'll have the Mo Mummy.
BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Our Steve Fellon has alerted us that Macklin Celebrini, youngest Canadian male in history to score a goal in an elimination in a best-on-best tournament. He has the icebreaker here against the Czechs. Cale Makar has marveled how Celebrini at 19, much more confident of a player, much better player than Makar said he was at that stage. You remember how Makar burst onto the scene with Colorado. The status of Celebrini this early in his career continues to grow with each passing game he suits up for Canada here in Milan, Chris.
Kyle had the first goal of the tournament against Czechia, 1954 of the first period 6 days ago. Got to it a lot quicker in this one at 3:05. So Celebrini and McDavid have points in each of the first 4 games. Back to the line, Parayko. That got past McDavid and bounces out to center. Kasha to the line, knocked back there, and here's 97 once again. Knocked away from him to Parayko. Travis Sanheim sends it in. Sanheim with the most ice time in the win over France. He played 18:53. John Cooper really didn't tax his guys in what was a convincing win. Whereas Czechia back-to-back games here, Canada should be fresh. Send in where Stone looks for a retrieval. Couldn't come up with it. Back the other way. Here's Tomaszek with a shot that goes wide. It'll be swung back towards the Team Canada net. Picked up there by Taves and lofted to the line and out. Now ahead, just out of the reach of Crosby. Fed to Marner. Mitch Marner's in. with Crosby. Taves had moved up, went to the front of the net, and now he'll backtrack. Tomaszek is out. Puts it in on Binnington, who shovels that away. Makar up ahead. That hit the stick of Pasternak. Dumped back in to Team Canada ice. Devon Taves. Nicely retrieved there, and a rink-wide pass. Cut by Gudas. Here's Radko Gudas in front. A chance here. Scores! Off a skated in. And the Czechs have tied it. Lukáš Sedlak has his first of the Olympics.
Sedlak would move to the first line with Cervenka and Pasternak. Goes to the front of the net where his big body can do some good work. But the one area that John Cooper was concerned about for Canada is puck management and turnovers. And that's going rink wide in the neutral zone where it's picked off. There's also a missed line change where there's confusion between Marchand and Stone. So no one back there to help the rush, and a good pass from Cervenka. No chance for Binnington. Turnovers and counters. It was Mark Stone, who's usually so reliable with the puck, turns it over, and the quick counterattack by Czechia has the game tied.
First Olympic goal for Sedlak, and for Cervenka, his 17th point in this, his 5th Olympic Games.
Huge goal for Czechia to stay even, stay in the game, keep it close. The one thing Canada has not had to do is play in a close game. They could have been in front comfortably in each of their 3 matchups. Czechia is trying to make them work for this one.
Radko Gudas, the second assist on the goal at 8:34. So a 1-1 game. As Czechia moves out, there's Natchez. On the move, David Kemp is in. Off Binnington's stick to the point. Philip Hronek sends it deep. In behind the net, knocked away from Schlappick, the former Ottawa Senator. Regrouped by Harley to Doughty. Up ahead, and here's Hagel into Czechia ice. Taken to the boards by Hronek. Stumbling is Natchez, but here he comes through center. One of the top players in the preliminary round. He'll drop it off to Ruda, who sends it down on Binnington. Shea Theodore, right wing pass off the stick of Seth Jarvis in. Played back to Jarvis. Worked over by Ruda. Puck in behind the net. Horvat battles. Jarvis knocked it loose. Horvat back to the line for Theodore. Now Parayko, that shot blocked. And Kashin just dumped it back into the corner. Canada gets back on it. Horvat sends it around, and we've got a penalty coming up against Czechia.
Yeah, Ruta was pushing it about 3 shifts in a row, finally got caught.
Check-in, number 44, 2 minutes holding.
Been trying to set picks and slow down Canada and run interference as subtly as possible, but since Jarvis gets his feet moving, establishes position, and the grasp over top of Jarvis puts the power play to Canada to work. 4 for 9 on the power play to lead the tournament, 44%.
With 44 in the box, and the penalty kill of Czechia, 7 of 11. They're 9th in the tournament in that department. And a turnover here, maybe a break, and a great stick by McKinnon, who turns it back in. That denied a 2-on-1 shorthanded. McDavid down low in front, and Dostal off Crosby. As Canada gets a grade A power play chance.
It's a good back check from McKinnon that thwarted what would have been a good chance of an odd man rush for Czechia. And they go right the other way, and Connor McDavid just navigating traffic all over the place, puts it right in the wheelhouse for Crosby, but he can't find a corner.
McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, Reinhart, Makar. Makar, who had a power play goal against France. Down low, Crosby. McDavid. Makar whistled that wide. McDavid regroups Reinhart. Crosby back to Reinhart, can't get it. McDavid trying to fire it across for McKinnon. Makar will give it to Nathan McKinnon. Down low, Crosby trying to improve his shooting line. Went short side and off the side of the net, and it does come out. McKinnon can't hold it. Back in comes McKinnon. Dashing in. Rodick got a stick on that. Round to the far side. Reinhart into the second minute of the power play. McDavid to Makar. McKinnon into the slot. Redirected. Dostal with another stop. This one off Reinhart.
It's good movement. Canada getting the puck to the area of the ice that they want to get it to. Into the middle. Crosby trying to bank one in. I don't know if there was a lot there. Maybe a slight spot on the side of the head, but not much outside of the post and behind. And then Reinhart as well, right in the slot into Dostal's chest.
Horvat, Stone, Marner, Celebrini, and Theodore, the second unit, with about 40 seconds of power play time. Kasha and Kemp, the penalty kill tandem for Czechia. There's Marner. Theodore across. Team Canada in. The goal scorer, Celebrini. Back to Theodore. Bump to Marner. Marner fires right on. Loose puck in front. Stone had a whack at it. Czechia clears. So 4 shots so far on the power play. 10 seconds to go. Theodore brings them back in. Stick breaks. Theodore's got to go off.
Gotta go.
It's a break. Theodore stays on without a stick. Shot. Rebound is knocked away. Binnington had to make a tough stop as the penalty comes to an end. Almost a short-handed goal. Pasternak's on it. He swings it wide. Up with it is Palat. Back to Hronek. Pasternak, and he whipped that off target. In is Šimik. Near side, Sedlak, who has the goal for Czechia. Takes a bump, Stone fires it around, and he's going to send that the length of the ice. That's an icing call against Team Canada.
Not a bad decision, though, with Theodore still out there without a stick. And it was the bench communicating to Theodore, who's changing because he has no stick in his hands. And the bench just screaming at him, get back on the ice. So he's able to go back and slow Palat down at least a little bit. Otherwise, Palat would have been in alone. Still 4 forwards out here, so a bit disjointed for Canada, even off the defensive zone faceoff.
And from the scrum, Canada up with it. Theodore able to flip it away to get the change, as that is right on to Dostal. Here goes Natchez. In with speed. That goes high. Round to the other side. Spot check. Gives it back to Natchez. Taken away there by Taves. A lot of avalanche on the ice. Taves to Makar after Natchez for Czechia. That left behind the net. Hagel gets it. McKinnon also out there. But back comes Kemp. Rink wide. Looked like Slapik was going off. Now a lead feed, and McDavid can't tame a bouncing puck. Radko Gudas, he's been aggressive in this opening period. Celebrini able to battle to get that out. Nice work to get it to Harley with McDavid. Here's Thomas Harley, and he gets knocked down by Gudas. Centered, but there was Hurdle up with a puck and an alley-oop looking for Kasha. And Celebrini warding him off, an icing call, but I think, is Celebrini going to get it for interference? It looks like. Well, let's see.
Yeah. On what would have been an icing?
Canada 17, 2 minutes interference.
Well, if that's the standard that will be set for the game, and they hold that standard, that's fine. Kasha swimming on Celebrini as much as Celebrini is holding up Pasha. As the penalty goes to the defensive player. Trying to figure out where the face-off should go.
So the call made, a penalty call on an icing, and we'll take a timeout. 6:11 left first period. Celebrini and Sedlak, the goal scorers.
I want you.
The Hyundai Elantra inspires a special type of love. The type that goes the distance. That always stays on your mind. And still takes your breath away after all this time. It's that Hyundai Elantra type of love.
Before the moment you break through, there are countless moments along the way. Moments that shift, shape, and spark potential. RBC Training Ground creates a path for that potential. That's how power becomes performance. RBC Training Ground has discovered potential in over 20,000 Canadian athletes and counting.
And it heads to the penalty kill after a close call at the tail end of a power play. Shea Theodore breaks his stick. He's on his way back to the bench. Peter Burr saying, come on off, Parayko, you go. No, everyone, get back out there. And so he turns and re-engages in the defense, even without a stick, because if he hadn't, Palat was walking right down the middle, home free on a breakaway. So Czechia trying to take the lead on the power play.
2 for 10 with the man advantage in the tournament. Team Canada has killed 6 of 7 shorthanded. Hronek, the quarterback. David Pastrnak, the most dangerous shooter, but Marty Necas has been hot of late. Cervenka's out there. Battle along the boards, knocked free for Necas. Tried to center it. That knocked back into the corner off the stick of Makar. Here's Necas. Sedlak, the other member of the power play at the side of the net. Back for Cervenka. Hronek right on. And stopped by Binnington. And that puck flipped over the glass. And out.
Czechia at 5-on-5 as well on the power play. Very simple in the offensive zone. If they have a chance to put the puck on net, they are putting it down to Binnington and trying to break down the defense with rebounds and tips. This one's Hronek drives it in. Sedlak's all by himself. Puck just happens to hit him before Taves pulls it out of the pile. Don't mind that. Don't look for the next great play. Put it in the net and see if he can create some havoc in Canada's zone.
Shots 8-7 for Czechia. A shot and off the post. Cervenka can't believe he missed that.
He doesn't miss those. He is usually so good. Everybody on Canada bit on the David Pastrnak shot fake. Diving back towards the net, focus on that lane, and it was clean and wide open for Cervenka.
He has goals in 4 different Olympic games, has the puck now. Hronek across, Pastrnak scores! Czechia the lead, and for the first time in the tournament, Team Canada is trailing. A trademark Pastrnak shot.
Good face-off win by Sedlak. Gets it out to Hronek, and then Parayko's taking the far side of the net away. It's a bit of a rolling puck, but boy, does he ever whip that one short side. John Cooper, I don't know if he's happy that Sedlak used his feet on that face-off, which you are not allowed to do. David Pastrnak, who said he had to be better, he would be better, comes through on the power play to give Czechia the lead.
Second of the tournament for Pastrnak. 71 points during the regular season, but just hasn't been the usual dangerous guy here until then. Play stopped, and
Schlappick is
Tom Wilson in the middle of it.
Schlappick's trying to draw Tom Wilson into a penalty. On the face-off, every whistle.
Oh, that's a 10-gamer. You're gonna jump another guy that doesn't know how to fight, or what? You're gonna jump another guy?
So they separate. Like in the Olympic era, NHL Olympic era, first time the Team Canada's trailed in 805 minutes and 1 second.
She scoops. She scores!
Nordica, my protein play every day.
When pain shows up, Tylenol is on your team. It's like Nathan McKinnon having your back, even when your back doesn't have your back. Tylenol Extra Strength, your pain relief MVP.
Remember, it's pizza, then French fries. Pizza and French fries. That's it, you got this. Love you, kiddo.
Together is golden. McCain.
David Pastrnak is the brightest star right now in Czech hockey. Only Jaromir Jagr has won more Czech Player of the Year awards in history than Pasternak's 8. Among the things that he said yesterday, as MJ pointed out, needing to be better, maybe saving his best for the tournament here against Canada. He also called Team Canada maybe the best team ever, and to not worry about respecting them so much. They have been aggressive from the drop of the puck and now have their first lead in the first period, Chris.
That power play goal, the difference, as Taves sends it in. Mike, prior to the game, we mentioned that the one thing Team Canada has yet to have in this tournament is any adversity. Now they have some. Let's see how they respond. Hagel behind the net, trying to get that to McKinnon, tied up, and Shimmick with an outlet. Makar is there to hold on. Taves back to Makar. Watched by Schlappick, and can't get it through against Schlappick. To the inboards, McKinnon centers. He'll stall down, knocked back into the corner. Seth Jarvis is on this line. And here's Taves trying to thread it through. That back pass intercepted by Schlappick. Out is Natchez. Czechia in the midst of a change as Natchez plays it back. Here's a pass into the slot and a glove stop by Binnington.
Kyle said it, aggressive. Czechia being aggressive wherever they can. And Sedlak comes off the bench. Canada can't close on Natchez, which is not surprising. Nobody has been able to all tournament long. And Spacek, Sedlak, and a pretty good save by Binnington. It all just feels a little bit more chaotic than we've seen for Canada without the puck.
They outshot Czechia 6 days ago, 36-26. It's 10-8 for the Czechs so far. Under 4 minutes left here in the opening period. Harley ahead. McDavid back on the ice, along with Celebrini and Wilson. Knocked loose to Wilson at the point, trying to get it through to the stick of Celebrini. Picked up by McDavid. Tried to cycle that back towards Wilson. Works the boards and gets it back to Harley. Now McDavid, and a stick came up. Tom Wilson's going to get the gate for a high stick as it came up on Sedlak.
So fresh off a power play goal. Another penalty for Canada. Tom Wilson heads the box.
Canada number 43, 2 minutes high sticking.
Canada wants to play this game at 5-on-5. That's where they feel they have the advantage. Trying to set a pick. Sedlak establishes body position. Wilson gets it right into his chin. And And this management team watching stoically still. This is what makes Czechia such a tough team to play against. Physically very strong.
Well, they need a kill and win or draw. Dick Suzuki on that face-off win.
Johnny Murray just bailed out Hurley. He was going to put his helmet back on, but you're not allowed to do that. You got to get off the ice.
Natchez is in. Drops for Cervenka. Around it goes for Pasternak. Back to the line and out as Hirota couldn't get there in time. Pasternak with 9 power play goals in the regular season and now 1 here in the Olympic Games. That's too far for Hirota. He has to go back to get it.
Sedlak quick change, Hurdle with his helmet, back on the ice.
Marner and Stone, Pasternak in. Cervenka back to Pasternak, across, Natchez far side. Hurdle parks in front. At the line, Šimik. Natchez, rink wide, Pasternak on this side with Cervenka. 40-year-old Roman Cervenka. Pasternak whipped that, and it goes wide of the cage. Cervenka from the corner intercepted. Mark Stone, who has a short-handed goal. Carries it out, now dumps it down on Dostal, who clears it away. Stone trying to make him eat that and get a face-off down in the Czechia zone. Now a giveaway, and Hagel with the steal. Moving up, it's Taves, a hot shot up high. Brought down, and Suzuki unable to take that on the half volley. 15 seconds left in the power play. Here's Kasha sending it in. Gowdy takes a hit. Marner along the boards. Schlappick there. It's dug loose by Harley, and now the veteran drew down. Gowdy ahead. Out of the box comes Wilson. Harley up to Wilson. So Czechia now 1 for 2 on the power play. As it's dumped back in, Dowdy takes a look and banned on the shoot around. Final minute here in the opening period. Out of the pile, Harley ahead, and McDavid winds it up. He's got Celebrini, puts on the brakes. Macklin Celebrini back for McDavid. Looking for a late tying goal, a shot right on, a rebound, and it's knocked back into Team Canada ice. Binnington out to play that. It'll reach Celebrini at the line. He'll send it around behind the net, half minute to go. Gudis off the boards, out to center. Theodore to McKinnon. They loaded up with McKinnon. McDavid, who preceded the puck into the zone, offside.
He was having a good first period. Radko Gudis, he has been all over the ice physically, stepping up with tight gaps. And even against the much faster McDavid, Celebrini, McKinnon, he has played it smart. He's picked up an assist on the first goal. He has been the leader of the back end for Czechia, who's been good in the first period.
35 years of age. His dad, an Olympian. His dad played in the 91 Canada Cup. So it's in the family lineage, these big games. Celebrini along the boards. Clock running down. Do they get one more chance? No, it will slide all the way to Binnington. And the first period is over. Canada with an edge in shots at 11-10. They scored first on Macklin Celebrini's 5th of this tournament. But then Sedlak with the tying goal and David Pasternak a power play goal. Canada trails for the first time in the tournament. James and company with much more in first intermission.
the biggest night in Canadian music with your host, May Martin, the 55th Annual Juno Awards, live March 29th at 8 on CBC.
It's time to put this ridiculous feud behind us.
I have everything I wanted 6 months ago. Nathan is committed. I can't stop thinking that something could go wrong.
Heartland on CBC and CBC Gem.
Being on stage is my passion.
You need to have flexibility, strength.
Some days it hurts like crazy.
Is he okay?
There's like the voice in your head like, failure, failure.
I love adrenaline and love pushing myself and pushing my limits.
I make people believe that impossible things are possible.
When everything and everyone work together, scale becomes strength. That is the power of Canada's best bank, backing you and your ideas with over 150 years of proven performance. Bring your ideas to us and let us put the full power of RBC to work.
Tylenol Complete relieves cold, cough, and flu symptoms like a pro. It's like having NHL superstar Nathan MacKinnon assisting you through your cold symptoms. Tylenol Complete relieves your worst cold, cough, and flu symptoms. Get relief like a pro.
Scotty's.
Finally got the name right. Scotty's.
I saw a hypnotist. He gave me a sneeze trigger.
Stay quiet.
Scotty's! Oops.
Scotty's!
CBC's coverage of the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 is brought to you by Scotty's. Canadian made, Canadian proud. Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
Back in our first intermission, this was before the game, obviously, and the scene was set. David Pastrnak versus Jordan Binnington, and that would happen on a power play for the Czechs. Amazing goal by number 88. Shots were 11-10 for the Canadians, but the Czechs grabbed the lead. This is the first time Canada's trailed. Chris was touching on this. Since Vancouver 2010 is the last time the Canadian NHLers trailed in a hockey game. So pressure is on. I want to show you a little bit about Eye of the Needle. And Sidney Crosby, this is about 5 years ago. It's the Sedin's play. Kevin would recognize that, the bank off the net, and then threads the needle. And margins are so narrow in critical games. That was just regular season, but here was the other day, obviously against the Swiss. Marner to Sid, he finds it with those x-ray eyes. Here's another example of McDavid, who was sensational in the first, through the feet, under the blade. Great opportunity for Sid, and then finally, Connor will try it himself. So James, the moral of that story is the bigger the game, the smaller the aim. We have got ourselves a nervous nation. Over to you at Santa Julia.
Thank you, Ron, alongside Kevin, of course, Cassie and Elliot. And yes, it's been a long time since they've trailed, but there's been adversity always for Canada at the Olympics. That's why the preliminary round almost seems so strange. 2002, of course, that loss to Sweden, and then a tie against the Czechs. In 2010, they go to a shootout with the Swiss and then lose to the Americans. Even 2014, when they were perfect, Finland took them to overtime. There was a game against Latvia that was close in the quarters. So I suppose with that history, it was shocking that there wasn't any adversity for Canada early on, but we're in one now, aren't we?
Well, other nations want to win too. You know, like they bring their best game against Team Canada. We have to prepare to beat the world. Sometimes other nations prepare to beat us, and that's simply the way it is.
There's definitely been created some doubt. And I think that's what the Czechs wanted to do. They didn't want to get blown out in the first period. They want to come, maybe hang in there, weather the storm, create a little bit of doubt that they can win this game. Dostal, even though he let one in, was really good. And the Czechs have a little bit of momentum here going into the intermission.
That was the Czechs' best period of the tournament by a mile. They'd been nowhere near that good. They played their best at the right time. But as James, as you said, it's going to happen. You're going to take a punch. How do you punch back?
The 2-1 deficit overshadows another chapter in this McDavid Celebrini show, which is unbelievable to watch.
I just think Macklin, obviously the skill set's there, the skating and the shot, but I think it's his decision making. And when you're with Connor, you're probably not going to possess the puck as much. In San Jose, he's a centerman, he has the puck, he's usually carrying it and making the plays. But with Connor, you just got to kind of keep up, put yourself in a situation, then bang, it's on your stick, and you have to make a really quick decision. This decision is a quick pull, and not the hardest shot, but it's a placement shot. And you have to have the IQ, you have to have the quickness mentally to be able to make that happen.
One thing about this Czech team is it's not an upstart young team. It's a bunch of guys who've been around for a long time, and maybe Radko Gudas personifies that.
Well, in the mix zone the other day when they won, one of the Czech players pointed to him and said, he's going to have us ready to play. And you just got to see him coming onto the ice at the start of this game. Like Cassie, you said it. Look at that look. And yesterday he was asked if they were intimidated by the Canadians. He said, if you are intimidated by this, you should not be playing pro hockey. And he made a mistake on the Canada goal, but he makes up for it. One thing the Czechs have to worry about, though, guys, they're the worst second period team in this tournament. They've given up at least 2 goals in every second period so far, 9 overall, and they've had several nightmare line changes.
And you wonder if the fatigue of the back-to-backs comes into play at any point in this one. You heard Mike Johnson talking about Cooper complaining about the face-off and the Pasternak power play goal. What did he see?
Well, Mike Johnson mentioned it as you said there, but he's at the mercy of the world feed, so he couldn't get the replay to probably show it again. So we found it for him, as good teammates do. So was this a face-off violation? Does it hit the stick of Sedlik first? You can debate that right off the hop, that it hit both Horvat and Sedlik's stick. Then he uses his foot, then he uses his stick. So that would be the debate that John Cooper was saying. Did he touch it initially? If he didn't, that would have been a face-off violation, would have been a penalty. To me, it looks like he maybe touched it there right at the start as him and Horvat went down to get it.
So they're a little bit out of sync with the changes, with the face-off plays, the penalty kill. What's the regroup look like in this intermission? This is where the leadership is needed. This is where Sid, Marchand, and Doughty, the 3 older guys, need to calm the waters right now and get everyone to go out there and just simplify everything.
Do you think Cooper even goes in the room, or do you think he leaves it up to the players?
No, I think you need a coach's voice. This intermission, you need a coach's voice, but then it has to be followed up by the big boys.
This tells you a lot. The start of this second period, this is really the first bit of adversity that this team has faced. How they come out to start this second period is going to tell you everything you need to know about the leadership group.
You mentioned changes when you said out of sync. Bad change leads to that first goal. What specifically happened?
Yeah, I think, again, it's just a little bit of mental lapse, a little bit of, not sharp 100% for the Canadian team, and bad changes. And, this is Makar and Taves, who are reliable defensemen. You think that this is going to go in the offensive zone. It doesn't. So you're going to change, but you got to make sure you got to cut the ice in half. And then this is an unfortunate one in the sense that Shea Theodore, there you can see this one again, where they're both going to change, they come back. And then there was another one where Shea Theodore loses his stick. You either got to get to that bench harder, or like right here, he's got to go. He doesn't have his stick. He waits a little bit longer. Look, he's trying to go now. Then it's the Czech team comes down, and it ends up being a great chance. So just some mental lapses for the defense. You got to make sure that puck is deep into the zone.
And Cass, it's the reaction to the lapses which is concerning. I showed Gabe they're chirping them too.
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to take a 10-game suspension, buddy. You could hear it on the microphones.
Foreign territory for Canada. Their first deficit so far in these 2026 Olympic Games. Down 2-1 after 1.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Really good, James and company. So Petro-Canada Olympic Winter Games morning. From Santa Julia, we'll get you an Olympic update with Perdita when we carry on here on day number 12.
Petro-Canada Olympic Winter Games Morning is presented by Petro-Canada. It's no time to hibernate.
What's new at DQ? The new Korean barbecue sauce and tossed chicken strip basket for just $9.99. Tangy, spicy, 100% white meat seasoned chicken. New Korean barbecue chicken strip basket for a limited time. Or honey barbecue. Get it for $9.99.
Every Sunday night, he can't sleep. But not this Sunday.
When you really need to sleep, ZQL has no equal. Sleep soundly so you can wake refreshed. ZQL, not for colds, just for sleep. Really sound sleep.
At Marshall's, our buyers hustle 24/7, so you never have to compromise on quality or price. Who said expensive taste had to be that expensive?
I'm impressed. Let's talk numbers.
We get the deals, you get the good stuff.
Dear Lori, enjoy the journey. On the mountain and down any trail you blaze.
The truck with road presence. The truck with a sport performance hood. 20-inch all-black aluminum wheels. Rugged black grille. And it comes with Canada's best full-size truck limited powertrain warranty. The new 2026 Ram 1500 Black Express. Starting at $56,995.
All right, guys, listen up. We need to come together. Look around this room. This is your family with glittery red costumes and robust dental plans. You, lady who puts up too many flags on her front lawn, keep doing it.
Okay.
And you, Dad Vinci, paint me a face that strikes fear to the hearts of our opponents.
She's 6.
Yeah. And you keep that connection top corner.
You got it.
Because we are one step ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Bell, proudly supporting the Canadian Olympic team since 1996. Bell, connection is everything.
Milan is the center of the hockey universe today, isn't it? 4 quarterfinal matches as we build towards that final clash on Sunday. You continue to watch Petro-Canada Olympic Winter Games Morning on CBC. Time now to check out the Google Pixel 10 Multi-View. Here's what we're looking forward to this afternoon. We're going to get back into short track, the women's relay final that happens today. I cannot wait to see Courtney Sareau skate for her 4th medal of these games. And Rachel Holman will carry so much momentum in today's curling match against Italy after a big win against Sweden. And the next game on the docket for men's hockey is Finland versus Switzerland. Puck drops at 12:10 p.m. Eastern Time. And time for a Wegovy Olympic update. We're talking men's snowboard slopestyle. We got to talk about Cam Spalding, who's representing Canada. He won the Crystal Globe last year for best overall performer. We also have to talk about Mark McMorris making his 4th Olympic Games appearance. And of course, let's show you what happened earlier in that final. It was a good one. McMorris wearing bib number 9. Oh, he gets it from the gun. He gets right into it. Giddy up, I like to say. This run, really, really good. The judges like it. 75.5. 5th right now. In the end, he'll finish 8th. Cam would finish 10th. To the winner goes the spoil, Su Yi Ming, the Chinese border. He missed gold 4 years ago. This is his revenge tour, I like to say. Wins it. Best run of the day. He's happy with it. Yeah, cool. And of course, Japan's Taiga Hashigawa gets the silver, and the American Jake Cantor takes the bronze. Here's McMorris after that final.
That always stings. It hurts the heart. But there's a lot of support out here. I've felt a lot of support. I've had a lot of Olympic Games go my way. It's been a hell of a run. I'm thankful to be in the final, but yeah, it's tough.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
Getting the breakfast you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get
$5 McValue breakfast meals every day.
This technology gives us unprecedented access to the animal world.
Brad Marchand has missed a couple games, goes right back onto
Pixar.
Whoa.
Hey.
And they were in the same den.
No.
It worked!
Disney and Pixar's Hoppers.
It's bone cancer.
Hey, I heard pneumococcal pneumonia could land you in the hospital.
You can't hide from pneumococcal pneumonia.
Let's talk about vaccination now that you're over 50.
Hiding from pneumococcal pneumonia won't help protect you from it, but Prevnar 20 can. Talk to your healthcare provider.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players with places to play and places to pause with responsible gaming tools.
It's time and spending limits for us.
Very good.
Deposit limits work for me.
Excellent choice.
I prefer a good cooling off period.
Very cool indeed. BetRivers responsible gaming tools. Welcome to your online casino.
Back in Milan, where tension is building in this quarterfinal, 2-1. The Czechs lead Team Canada after 20 minutes. Lukáš Dostal, 10 saves in the opening 20. He is on back-to-back after earning the victory in the play-in round yesterday. He had the pleasure of meeting the legend, Dominik Hasek, a handful of times. Talked to him more about life than hockey in those interactions. Dostal, born 2 years after the 98 gold medal Hasek and company captured for their country in Nagano. He said, instantly saw footage of it on TV growing up. You learn pretty quickly the significance of that moment. He is becoming the face of Czech goaltending. Dostal admitted, though, with how fast the game is now, how offensive driven it is, there will never be another one like Hasek, but he continues to try to make things interesting. We'll see how the Canadians respond, Chris.
The ghost of 98 rumbling in the building. See if Team Canada can exercise those. Elliott mentioned Czechia's had trouble in the second period, outscored 9-5. Team Canada has outscored their opponents 6-0 in the second period. Taves turns back, and now Cale Makar to work. Firing it in, Tom Wilson after it. Wilson, McDavid. And celebrating to start. Makar moves up. Cervenka can't chop it past him. Dostal unable to slow it down. Wilson after it. McDavid on it. Taken out there by Sedlak, who takes it away. Sedlak with 3 shots on goal for Czechia in that opening period. Pastrnak with his 3rd shot on goal of the game. Downey up, and that'll slide wide of the net for an icing call as Tom Wilson had his stick lifted.
Czechia would have liked a lot of what they did in the first period, and what makes them uniquely tough to play against is when they stack 4 guys across the blue line, they make you dump it, and then they have big, rugged defensemen that are good at going back, taking hits, and getting into battles, and not just letting Canada pick up the puck when they ring it in on the forecheck.
Had the point kept in by Michael Kempny. 7 slot shots for Czechia in that first period. In the first meeting between these two teams, they had 6 in the entire game. Gudas ahead. Natchez on the move. Overskated the puck. Gets it back. Swinging shot there by Schlappick, the former Charlottetown Islander. Puck along the boards, and Natchez trying to work it back. Stumbling is Wilson. Puck out, and a hit there on Hagel. Here's Wilson. And McKinnon, a hand pass, will halt play with McKinnon looking like he was home free.
A lot going on there. Good call. It was a hand pass. And it's a tough game not to be playing in. Sam Bennett, not sure if he's 100% healthy. You know he wants to be in this kind of game, and quite frankly, this is the kind of game where Sam Bennett would be well served to play in. It is physical, it's tough going, heavy sledding, and he has thrived in those environments the last couple of years.
Crosby up against Hurdle on the matchup here. Hurdle without a goal in the tournament. Flipped away and down the ice, and Theodore didn't play it. Got an icing call out of it, so face-off back in Czechia ice.
So at least for the first couple of minutes, not a whole bunch of changes for Canada. Nothing changes for Czechia. As you see there, extras. Fox on the bottom right. Not playing Pamelka. Can't get in lineup, the leading winner amongst goalies in the NHL.
Mentioned hard to believe Pamelka would not get a game in this tournament. But Dostal's answering any questions about who should be the starter. Palat flips it in. Thomas Harley back. Up and around from Marner.
That's a lot like interference
hit
there,
the stone. Crosby taken down. And a shot right on. Kasha ahead. Here's Spacek sending it in. David Spacek, whose dad played in a lot of these big games. Tumbling over the net there was Stransky, and back the other way, it's Harley turning with it. Up ahead it goes off Marner, who heads off. Off Marchand and out to center. Cale Makar got to the red line, plays it in. Dostal out of the net, swings it across. Veronica had trouble with that, gives it up, and now Marchand back to the line, but too hot, and Parayko has to go all the way back in his own zone to get it. A relatively quiet opening 3 minutes here in the second. Veronica at center. Makar there to pick that off, send it back in. Delayed offside. McDavid's got a tag. Now at the Team Canada line, knocked away. Pasternak gets on it. Cervenka couldn't get it deep. Makar back across. Forte.
Lots of bodies in the neutral zone for Czechia, not giving anything off the rush.
They're in though. Here's McDavid flying in. In behind the net. In front, Makar off the post. Cale Makar rings it up. McDavid gets it back. Cycling it back for Celebrini. Jarvis out there now. Backlund, Celebrini right on. Rebound loose. Makar finds it. Back at the line. Got it to Jarvis. Seth Jarvis looking to center. Swings it across. Brandon Hagel deep. McKinnon behind the net as they've changed on the fly and pinned Czechia. Makar keeps it in at the line. Trying to sidestep Cervenka and then forced out. That pass missed McKinnon. And icing called against Team Canada.
Pace through the neutral zone has been hard to come by for Canada. They finally get a bump pass to a flyer, with the flyer being Connor McDavid. He wheels the net. Cale Makar so good at this shot. Dostal is beat cleanly, but catches the outside of the post. Canada's just got to keep trying to find speed to attack the blue line with.
That goal on the power play by Makar against France, his first senior international goal. Didn't score at 4 Nations. Has not played at the World Championship.
Too many playoffs.
He usually is occupied in the spring. Hagel tied up. Away is Slopik, and Binnington glove stop on his first clutch stop here in the second period.
Board battles have been a story. Czechia did a good job with them. Now tell me if this is interference or not. I mean, Palat elevates into Crosby. The puck is nowhere to be found. They called interference on Celebrini, which is fine. If that's the standard, that hit right there met the standard. You have to be consistent.
Would be considered more egregious, I would say.
I'm being kind by saying it met the standard. But you also want to run this and start complaining about the officiating, right?
Yep.
It's a fine line.
Play on here. And Crosby didn't waste much time complaining about it. Ducks under a Gudas check there. Gudas leans on Crosby, who got it deep. Now Marner, back it comes to the line, swung across, and Theodore around for Crosby. Gudas there again with a bump. And it's played past Theodore. Great play by Marner. Crosby looks shaken up as he has gone to the bench in difficulty.
He's really struggling on the bench.
Yeah, he got sandwiched there on a hit. Gudas went after him a second time and had some help that time.
Nate just got him as well.
And here is Natchez working his way through into Team Canada ice. Sends it across. Look out! Binnington out beyond the blue to make that stop off Hurdle.
Concerning moments for Canada as their captain is still feeling the effects. Gudas got him right in front of me at the benches. And you wonder, his legs splitting apart there, if his groins are okay. And then there's the next one. Something triggered his right leg. I almost wonder if it wasn't the hit in the neutral zone that put him in an awkward spot more than the second one.
Horvat, Hurdle, and Hurdle pulled it back and rigged back into Czechia ice. Marchand racing onto it. Of course, Ruda into making a hasty move. Puck bounces out to center. And Kasha plays it into Team Canada territory. Off the stick to Binnington. Jakob Fleck back to the line. Ruda shot. It doesn't get through. And Sidney Crosby is making his way in the tunnel and down to the Team Canada dressing room. So that is not a good sign.
You think about the consistency for Canada. Crosby's been there. He's leaving Canada down 1. In a tough spot right now. Nate McKinnon probably not entirely healthy. Sidney Crosby's dad watching that as well with a concerned look on his face.
Crosby out. We're not sure if McKinnon's 100%.
He is not. You can tell by the way he's... The power in his stride is not the norm. Puts more on this line here to be brilliant.
And they have been. Well, McKinnon now out there along with Celebrity and McDavid. So they go to the nuclear option here. Trying to tie the game. McKinnon to the net. Knocked off his stick. Played past Parayko. McKinnon holds the zone. Here's McDavid. And Dostal a piece of it. Jam play. Loose. Dostal across. And he comes up with a huge stop there as Canada comes close. McDavid with a chance, and now back they come. Fired across for McKinnon. Here's Celebrini. And unable to get a shot away there. Travis Sanheim also had a chance there in tight after McDavid's jam play went across the goal mouth. So Canada picks up the pace. Stone drops. Celebrini fires it around. There's Nick Suzuki on the far side. Mark Stone looking to get it back to Suzuki. He's worked over there and it's rolled outside the line. Harley will send it back in. Past 7.5 of the second period. Team Canada picks up the pace. Harley a shot. That may have hit the traffic in front with Kempy and Stone parked in front of Dostal. And now Schlappick will work it back to the Team Canada line. Drew Doughty looking up ice. Off Marner. Inside the line. Stone steals. He'll fire it across. Makar and then taken off his stick. A one-timer, and that goes wide as Horvat had it blocked. And now flipped away for Kasha. Andre Kasha in against Shea Theodore. Makar gets it back. A little more urgency in the last couple minutes, Mike.
Dialed up the tempo, winning more battles, more speed.
Here comes Horvat in. And Horvat back and a rebound. And that one didn't get to the net. Hagel comes up with it. Horvat calls for it. Knocked off his stick. Makar halfway, and it's played past him. and out. Pulse of the game quickens. Jarvis will send it back in. Hagel on the retrieval. Up against spot check. Marenko trying to hold the zone, and it comes out.
Give it to him.
David was loose, and now it's played ahead for Hagel. At the line, kept in by McDavid. Double shifting him, and he goes to the net. Blocker stopped Dostal. So without Crosby, another shift for McDavid. Shot in front, and Celebrini is stopped. So Team Canada threatening, looking for the equalizer, and there is concern for the status of Sidney Crosby.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try a little help from my friends.
It takes a team to feed the dream.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
Maybe for the first time all tournament, John Cooper's got some serious coaching to do on the bench mid-game as Sidney Crosby left the game, and I think it's probably more that hit that was the issue. He continued on, got hit one more time, but the right knee was plaguing him, and to see him go off the ice like that is not a great sign for Team Canada. Even Kyle Dubas trying to not react. So in the meantime, he's put McKinnon up with McDavid and Celebrini. Suzuki taking McKinnon's spot, and everything is shuffled around trying to create the pace they just did the last 5 minutes.
McDavid has 4 shots on goal. Celebrini has 3. And McKinnon joins that line now. Natchez at center. Philip Hronek, loved by Binnington. He will hold on to that.
David Pastrnak, a little cut in his face. That was on a follow-through of a shot, so nothing to be content with there. And you wonder situationally now, defensive zone face-off. You can't waste McDavid's minutes in his own end. So on a whistle, you bring out Bo Horvat, Jarvis and Hagel, and let them get the puck up the ice, and then very likely go right back to McDavid in an offensive situation.
Shots are 8-4 Canada here in the second period. They've won 17 of 30 faceoffs, but Sedlak prevails there, and Pastrnak whipped it just wide. Seen a lot of goals off faceoffs in this tournament. Sedlak takes a bump. Horvat up the boards. Seth Jarvis, long lead feed. Hagel racing after that, and Hronek wins the race. Flips it high in the air. Boy, that had some hang time. And Doughty will flip it back inside the line. Up ahead it goes. Maybe a break for Pastrnak. Swinging in and off the side of the net. Binnington got a piece of it. Sedlak's got it. Lost it. Seth Jarvis the other way. Squeezed along the boards, and Sedlak back to get it. Big hit by Horvat. Around, and Jarvis is there. Kept in at the line. Taves plays it in behind the net. Marchand after it. Up ahead it goes. Wilson trying to hold it in. Tom Wilson across. There's Marchand from distance. Gloved and held by Dostal. So we pass the midway mark of the second, and that Czechia lead still holding up.
At Wave
Wayfair, we bring style to every get-together. They brought wings.
You mean these wingback chairs? Dive in, everyone. We brought plenty.
We brought the ranch.
Woo! Wings and ranch? Now it's a party.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Max, what are you doing?
Stretching.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, why?
Solving crime is hard work. I need to stay limber.
We're off for the next 2 weeks. They didn't tell you?
No, they didn't tell me. Why?
It's the Winter Olympics on CBC.
So does that mean I can stop exercising?
It's always good to stretch.
Okay, let me get this right. For 2 weeks, I get to sit back, watch the Olympics, and not go back to solving crime?
Sure.
That is the best news I've heard all day. All right, I need chips, ice cream, and a chicken pot pie.
For the Olympics?
That's just for tonight. Hop to it, champ.
Where does bravery live? It lives inside Cynthia Appia, who refuses to let the high cost of sports slow her down.
John Cooper told Elliot Friedman he'd rather be the one at the top of the mountain trying to swat away the hyenas. The Canadians certainly were coming into this tournament. This was moments ago after Crosby had left the bench, gingerly walking through the back hall here at the Santa Julia Arena. We await an official update on his status from Canada. In the meantime, they continue to push, trailing by a goal against the Czechs, Chris.
Push has been on in this second period.
And here we go, offensive faceoff. Who hops over the boards? I mean, the line I was just on had no centerman. Reinhart, Marchand, and Wilson as they continue to shuffle the deck, trying to find the tying goal.
McKinnon going to take this draw with McDavid on his right, Celebrini on his left. Tave poised in behind the circle, and Makar out to the right side as they win the draw. Around it goes for McDavid. Spinning back, looking to center against Hronek. And McKinnon fanned on that. Puck dumped down into Canadian ice. Kasha goes after it. Here's a chance, and that one blocked. McDavid leaned on here in the corner. Czechs will swarm after it. Hurdle tying up McDavid. Makar trying to fish it out of there.
Czechs want it down here when McDavid's on the ice. This is perfect for them.
Blow it dead sooner or later.
Coming up,
They're going to get a penalty, though.
Kempney grabbed it, I think, for cross-checking McKinnon.
So out of all that, a penalty coming up.
And they let Palat and Makar joust quite a bit. Czech has been pushing the envelope all game long. As you have to. So now Canada gets a power play opportunity. Now, how much energy do those guys have? They just were in the corner for 30 seconds grinding away.
That was a great 20 seconds for Czechia, or 30, and then it all
not that one
is negated on the shots by Kempney.
It's tough to pull just that out of the pile, but Canada will take it. Chance for the power play to even up the game.
Second power play, 4 shots on the first. Trying to solve Lucas Dostal. McKinnon and Makar out there. Still can't believe that the Colorado Avalanche are last on the power play in the NHL with those outstanding threats. Oilers, of course, number 1 with 97 out there. Sam Reinhart, Macklin Celebrini looking for McKinnon. That rolled right to the goal. Around for Makar. Connor McDavid. Down low, Celebrini tried the between the legs pass. He wanted to get that across for McKinnon.
He actually has room to take that himself. They're giving him that space.
McDavid going to wind it up. Through it goes. Celebrini left flank. Back to McKinnon and across. McDavid down low. Celebrini. McDavid side of the net. Across. McKinnon scores! Nathan McKinnon power play goal. And it's tied.
Nate McKinnon. Little exchange between McDavid and Celebrini. McDavid understands what he's going to see here. He wants to go through the seam to McKinnon, then one stick handle and the layered screen from Veronic. And then Palat slides underneath. No chance for Dostal to see this. And an ill-advised penalty in the offensive zone for Michael Kempney. A little too exuberant in the scrum. Puts Canada on the power play and tie the game.
McKinnon from McDavid and Celebrini. And Connor McDavid, 2 points in the game, now 11 to tie for most points in an NHL-based Olympic Games. Most importantly, they have got back on even terms. Here's Suzuki to center, trying to get it inside the line. Marner works it loose, then knocked off his stick. So Suzuki goes in the middle with Marner and Stone, trying to keep that solid Team Canada second unit going. Puck played around the boards, swatted at by Marner. It'll slide back, and Nate just looks to center. That broken up by Theodore. Marner with a little
do not
bunt out to center. That was nifty stick work, and now Stone to Marner to Stone, and the pass across, blocked by Kempney. May have saved a goal, and a big blast by Downey missed the target. Back it goes to Harley. Harley shot it. That's knocked to the corner. So Team Canada now has outscored their opponents in the second period 7-0 in this tournament. And Czechia has been outscored 10-5. 6.5 to go here in the middle frame. Harley up ahead. Here comes Horvat in. Oh, Horvat from an angle. Dostal covers that up.
You can feel the game bubbling right now on the ice. Czechia furious about that last penalty call to Kempney that resulted in the McKinnon goal. And you see the vision of McDavid to go through the box laterally. And then that goes right through the legs of Palat. Maybe catches a piece of a leg and then off the post and in for Canada.
Saku Koivu, Timo Solani had 11 points in 2006, and now McDavid 3 points in each of the first 3 games. He's averaging a point a period here. 11 points, 11 periods. Here's Hagel. Horvat worked over by Ruda. 12 for the shots here in the second for Team Canada. Jarvis had it blocked. He'll get on it again. Sends Jarvis to the net. Out in front! And it's ruled just wide by Hagel. And then gets away from Sanheim. Spins it back as Team Canada was changing. McKinnon comes on. And offside call. They're going to take that down. They had told Spacek that it was a delayed offside. He played it, so a face-off will go deep. So here's the equalizer off the stick of Nathan McKinnon.
She scoops. She scores!
Spooner! Nordica. My protein play every day.
The BetRivers app welcomes players like you with an online casino experience unlike any other. Come, with thousands of popular and exclusive games, our slots can run hot.
I won!
BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
A Tim's Donut and Coffee is the original collab. And now, buy any size original or dark roast coffee and get a classic donut for $1. An iconic deal on the iconic duo with a Tim's Dollar Donut. Order on the Tim's app today.
It's time for Tim's.
Can she stick the landing? She can! Oh, the crowd loves it!
That is superb brush control. A huge effort.
This is what we're made for, Canada.
The most prolific goal scorer in Canadian Olympic hockey, warming up today for a gold medal matchup tomorrow. Marie-Philippe Poulin and Team Canada against the United States as they play for gold tomorrow, 1:10 Eastern Time. Shots now 23-14 in favor of Team Canada. McKinnon, McDavid, Celebrini right back out. Off the boot of Makar. Celebrini got it back in. Dostal fires it around. It'll come outside the line for Palat to an open wing, and Devon Taves is back. Just gets rid of it, and they're going to wave icing. Hronek fires it around, knocked down by McDavid. Send up for Palat. And ahead it goes over the line. Sedlak dropping Palat with a shot that goes wide. Around for Gudas. Knocked down in front. Now McDavid looks up ice. Here's Celebrini. McDavid on the move. Cutting in. And just missed.
He had a lot of room up there.
Flipped high over the net. McDavid goes to the bench. Shaking his left hand a bit. Not sure if that's an issue or not. Drew Doughty's at the wheel. Fires that. Oh, he had Marchand in behind. Dostal around. Fired that past. And here comes Pasternak. David Pasternak centered. And it rolled past the stick of David Kemp. Kemp trying to one-handed to Pasternak. Cervenka back. Here's spot check. Kicked away. Rebound. Hit the post. Pasternak loose in front. Well, from our angle, it looked like the go-ahead goal for Czechia. But they catch iron. Tom Wilson with a hit on spot check. And now Pasternak in. He's checked. Suzuki knocks it away. Marchand goes after that. Around it goes for Hronek. Knocked down there. Suzuki gets it back. To the point, Theodore's shot, and that'll ramp out of play.
Physical play picking up. Spacek doing well to get off the ice. Doughty steps into Pasternak. That's a great check on David Pasternak, looking for the puck at his feet. He wants to hit up high. Not going to get it. Gets right back in the play, and the rebound poked past Binnington from Kemp, but not the post. So close to taking the lead back one more time.
Probably their best chance of the second period.
Pasternak's mouth is taking beatings. Got hit with a high stick earlier, then that hit.
Marner, Stone, Suzuki. And you would think Nick Suzuki far more comfortable back in the middle. Up with the puck, it's Parayko. Right on, rebound, swung back, off the post. What a chance. And it glances off the post to Suzuki from a sharp angle. On the rebound, it's Stone. Trying to play it through, that hits Suzuki. And Czechia clears, not enough for icing, just. Nick Suzuki comes close to providing Team Canada with the lead.
Exactly right, though. Looks so much more comfortable just taking a normal shift, playing in the middle. Mark Stone giving him a tap, saying, we'll get the next one. As Mitch Marner wheels it over, it's it's wide open. He's just got to hit the net. Oh, right through the back door.
Plays for McKinnon, back to Taves, right on. Kicked in front, McDavid the rebound, stopped by Dostal. Connor McDavid on it again, back to Makar. Here's Makar working in. Shot, Dostal fights that off. And Nature's trying to get going. Stop, kept in by Makar. Great play as he is downhill behind the net. McKinnon across, McDavid to Makar, and he tipped that wide. What a setup. Gail Makar on the prowl, fires that, hits Celebrini in front, and hurdles away. And he'll one-hand it down the ice. Boy, when they load up, it's something to watch. Here comes Hagel with Horvat, and bouncing wide of the net. And a backhand scoop to the line, off the glove of Parayko. Andre Palat sent it in, a delayed offside. Czechia has to tag, and Jarvis has got room. Flips it in, and he'll get there first. Garvis takes a bump. Played around by Hagel to Horvat. Back to the line. Back to Horvat. Taves missed the one-timer. And now Palat lost the puck. Hagel's going to get it back. Cycles him around near side. Taves. Penalty coming up against Czechia. Another Team Canada power play. McDavid's the extra man. Taves back to McCarr. And now McDavid from the corner. Gudas watching him. Puck touched. Penalty call coming. 72 seconds left. Second period.
Czechia being as physical as they can be. Gudas gets a roughing penalty for this. Oh, as the forearm shiver in the back of the head. Hagel's on his way down a little bit, but he drives his head into the boards. And so Canada, who just tied the game in the power play, goes back to the man advantage. Czechia is just trying to survive the rest of this period, get out of it tied.
Shot 16-5. Off the draw. McCarr battles with Shimmick to the line, and it did come out. Offside.
This has been such a good, prolonged push by Canada. It's been better part of 10 minutes. They have really turned up the pace since Crosby basically left the game. McDavid back here getting a running start on an entry if they win the faceoff clean.
5 shots for him in the game. McKinnon the power play goal. And now 1 minute to go here in the second period. David Camp on the kill, along with former Saskatoon Blade Mate Stransky. McKinnon kicks it back. In flight. Here's McDavid. Lost the handle momentarily, gets it back in the skates of Kemp. Stransky tried to clear, kept alive. Good keep there by McCarr, but now Czechia clears. So they've got 20 seconds here in the second. Nathan McKinnon to the gallop. McKinnon's in! McKinnon! Stopped by Nostal. That might be his best single dash of this tournament. Clock drains. They trailed by 1 after 1. They're back on even terms. 2-2 after 2. So the shots through 40 minutes. 28-15 for Team Canada. Nathan McKinnon, a power play goal. Shot 16-5 in the second. James and the crew with much more coming up in our second intermission.
CBC's coverage of the Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 is brought to you by Sponge Towels. Canadian made, Canadian proud.
Make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace.
Kicking your can all over the place.
Mark McMorris.
Very solid up top.
Cam Spaulding.
Lot of rotation.
Men's slopestyle final. And Canada on track for another podium finish. Tonight on RBC Olympic Winter Games Prime Time.
It's country against country, and it becomes more than hockey.
Let's get ready for an epic battle.
Just the perfect storm. The real world
51st state
and hockey.
Canada needed a win.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals to build mines, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity, good jobs, and growth home. Because this province doesn't just sit back, we build. That's how we protect Ontario.
The BetRivers app welcomes players like you with an online casino experience unlike any other. How? From big wins to lots of spins, there are spinfinite ways to play. With thousands of popular and exclusive games, our slots can run hot. Plus, throw in the excitement of live table games like blackjack and roulette for the ultimate playcation. BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
I could ask. Why not? Yeah, I'll just ask.
Wondering about Ozempic? Ask your doctor and visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Olympic hockey on CBC is presented by Ozempic.
As forecast by Elliot and Chris, Canada with a great second period. The other day, yesterday, in fact, McKinnon didn't practice. We all thought, uh-oh. And then there were a couple of one-timer attempts, and we thought, uh-oh. But there's the goal. There's the rush. Nothing wrong with him. 5 shots for Connor McDavid in this game, 3 for Nathan McKinnon. Under the heading of you get what you pay for. The hockey is sensational. How about these payrolls? The United States and Canada right up at the 200 million mark. Slovakia, by the way, has advanced to the semifinal. They're down there at 19. But you think about Bobby Clark was hurt in 76 in Achilles. Gilbert Perreault in the Canada Cup in 81, broken ankle. Wayne Gretzky, you remember the Gary Suter hit in 1991. John Tavares in Sochi. So cost of winning, James. I know it's a mindset more than it's about the money, but there you go. All concern for Sidney Crosby to you.
Indeed. Thank you, Ron. And, you know, this is what we waited 12 years for. We wish we didn't have to miss 2 Olympics with NHLers in them, but to have a game like this with everything on the line and all of our heart rates elevated, this is what it's all about. Sidney Crosby has been the face of this team, really the face of Canadian hockey now for 2 decades. So psychologically, Elliot, what must it be like? You're already trailing 2-1 to watch your captain go off like that.
It sucked the life out of the building. Like, you heard this building go quiet when Crosby went off the ice and then when he went to the room. It wasn't just the players on the Canadian side. I think it was also just the fans, everybody in the building. This is the second of the 2 hits. There's the first one. I think that's the one we're all wondering if it really did it. But you know what? It's a shocker. But, James, the old line goes, you've got to make chicken salad out of chicken bleep, right? And I think that's exactly what Team Canada did. The parents concerned, but the players, it's almost as if they said, he's not going to save us. They completely turned and played a much better game after Crosby left because everybody realized they had to step it up. And Cassie and Kevin, you guys have both played. I'm wondering, as a player, what are you thinking when you see your captain go out like that?
Well, I think for me, sitting on the bench, it would be next man up. But I really think you need your coach in that moment to show confidence. And what I thought he did by putting together the 3 max, if you will, you know, it did wonders for the team. He was really precise and concise on the lines that he made. After that, he didn't look rattled as a coach, and I think as a player sitting on the bench, you need to see that from your coach. We just lost our captain. You're going to take over. You're going to run this ship, and I thought that was really a job well done by John Cooper and how he handled the lineup.
Yeah, you guys both said psychologically definitely woke the team up because the safety net of Crosby is not there anymore, how clutch he is. The problem it did with the lines, though, is McKinnon obviously not healthy enough to drive his own line, so you had to put him together on the Big Mac line. Now you only really have McDavid, Suzuki, and Horvath. They had 3 centermen, and then they rolled once Crosby left. Stone and Marner got 1 shift. shift after Crosby left, and it's been a bit of a rotation on the wing. So there's the one problem with Sid not playing. Also, it's the power play. And what we saw, naturally, they just rolled Macklin Celebrini into Sid's position. Now, Macklin plays on the second unit on his one-timer flank. Totally different position, but he's a smart kid. He knows Sid's responsibilities. He's getting on the same page right here with Connor. Couple reminders, hey, we're going to play catch. I'm going to give it to you down low eventually, like Sid usually is, and you're going to try to attack down low. So this is what they run right away. This is kind of a play that Crosby would do. And then if nothing was working there, you're going to see Macklin and McDavid are going to do a little bit of an interchange, and they're going to switch positions, and that's going to lead to the goal. So just kids, like, if you're on the power play, don't just know your job. Know everyone's job. So this is the rotation now, and now they attack down low, and McKinnon finishes off right there. So
I don't know where this is going to go, but McDavid's got that look that's saying, I'm not going to let us lose.
I'm taking this thing over.
Really, 2 TSN turning points, got to rep the brand. Bizarre one, if, you know, the fact that Crosby got hurt, the way they responded, because that really did change the game. But also, everything was going Czechia's way, and you get a kind of a dead play in the corner with the puck. And Kempny takes that penalty, which switched everything around.
Yeah, there was a delayed offside, too, that the faceoff came all the way back in their D zone. But this penalty by Michael Kempny, just such a misjudgment, and it really got Canada going. I mean, a little cross-check here and there. He's fighting with McKinnon, but that extra stuff in the offensive zone. But watch this. Who stands up? Marchand, you can see Tom Wilson, and they're loving it because you know that they're loving that this penalty is called. It's those two guys usually have penalties called against them, and then the power play goes to work and just finishes it and buries it. And Kempny just knows that he put his team down here with that play. Just not smart.
The bench definitely helps with that call. That's gamesmanship. When you jump up and you make a big you make noise, you bang your stick, you draw attention to it. But certainly you're right. It was a turning point. Gudas also got a penalty, and Canada's going to have a minute left of power play to lead this period off. It was another one where it started to make me think, Czechs are kind of losing it a bit. They're starting to lose, you know, that confidence, and they're feeling the pressure of Canada taking it to them.
Not sure Binnington had much of a chance on the first 2 goals, but still, it's nervy time when you fall behind and he gives up too early. He made a really good save right after the second goal, and then evaluate him in that second period because we know all the attention will go to the goalies in a third period of a tie game.
You know what, James? It's not overtime at the Four Nations, but it's overtime at the Four Nations. That's where we are right now. This is a knockout game, and they're tied, and every minute the Czechs stay tied, it's more of a victory for them because they were not expected to be here at this point. You know, he's got to be in that frame of mind, and if you're Canada, you've seen him do it before, you absolutely 100% have to believe he can do it again.
At 2-1, he made some huge saves. He allowed his team to stay in this hockey game.
Canada has to be very comfortable taking this down to the wire in a 1-goal game. Not opening it up too much and taking what they get. Obviously, it'd be nice for the power play to get one here, but you got to be comfortable just being able to win this 1-0. They don't have to feel like they have to score 3 goals this period.
I heard people complaining about not enough close games and that the preliminary round was dull. Well, here you go, folks. Even at 2, Canada and Czechia. Winner goes to the semifinals. Loser goes home.
Olympic hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit Ozempic.ca for savings.
Should mention, close game, Finland, Switzerland. We've got that right now on Sportsnet, James. Yes, we do. I think you may have me on that one. Great suspense at Santa Julia.
Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Cross Sport, and the all-electric ID4.
I see you looking.
I can't believe we got the show that we wanted.
Really good work today. I have a few notes.
Isn't HRT the cure? I want to be one of those women who just skates through menopause with no symptoms.
You can see that you haven't been yourself. So if you want to talk about it, this isn't the place.
Just pay attention to how much this relationship just flourished.
You can hug my finger, there's less feelings in a finger.
Small achievable goals on CBC Gem. On
on the Dragon's Den 2-part special.
I think we've officially arrived.
The show's most successful pitchers return to the den.
7 minutes on Dragon's Den changed my life, and I want to do that for someone else.
And come full circle as guest dragons.
You are so inspiring.
If you work hard and dream big, you can make anything happen.
I thought I was going to get through this without crying.
Suspense is killing me.
I've never been so invested emotionally in a deal.
Dragon's Den Full Circle. New episode February 26th on CBC and CBC Gem.
The Olympic Winter Games Milano Cortina 2026 are brought to you by Coca-Cola. It's Canada's moment. Drink it in.
Getting the McDonald's you love for just $5 plus tax every day? That's not just value. That's McValue. Get $5 McValue meals every day.
I get it. It's hard to change. Me? I'm pretty loyal. I've been on the same team for 17 years. Same coach for 11. Never switched my number once. And I start every warm-up with a pass from the same guy. What's up, Curtis? And I shoot from the same spot. Every time. So you can imagine how good something has to be for me to change.
Can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it, can't beat it with the big bad dough. Come on. Don't I make it look easy? Don't I make it look good? Yeah.
Time for an Olympic update courtesy of Wegovy. You're going to want to listen to this one. We're going to talk about cross-country skiing, but I got to tell you people this. In my history as a broadcaster, I have never reported on something like this. Basically, there was a trespasser on the Olympic course. Pay attention.
And we have a visitor. Maybe not a streaker, but we certainly have somebody who wants to be part of the Olympic action, making their way down the piste. And wants to enjoy the finish as well. Hadzic of Croatia across the line. The magnificence of the local wildlife, domesticated.
A quick celebration at the end.
Photo finish. Oh, as this goes up on the big stadium of the Jumbotron, the crowd, a roar of approval from those in the stands.
Gold medal for Lassie. Go ahead. It kind of looks like a wolf to me. I don't know, but it's a dog. Okay, to the creatures with two legs, we go in the men's team sprint free. Johannes Kleibo. He's been in 4 events. Guess how many golds he's won? Yeah, 4. I gave it away. I know, but you get what I'm saying. At one point, his team was 12th, and at the 6K mark, he basically said, go, gadget legs, and then they won everything. So he wins his 10th Olympic gold medal in cross-country skiing. The Norwegian, the Canadians were 6th.
Olympic Update, presented by Wegovy. Ask your doctor for Wegovy by name. Visit wegovy.ca for savings.
The biggest night in Canadian music with your host, Mae Martin, the 55th Annual Juno Awards, live March 29th at 8 on CBC.
Right now, Canadians are going for it. Some of us are going to work. Some of us are going for gold. And some of us are going to lose their mind if Lou doesn't put her boots on. We're families. We're champions. And we got to eat. Like right now. Whatever we call ourselves, Maple Leaf nourishes Canadians with natural ingredients and complete protein. So let's go for it, Canada. But first, protein.
Her particular skill set can be helpful to us.
She's a con artist.
Instead of using your talents for crime, you'll be playing on our team. I'm a cop.
You're not a cop.
You have a badge? Not yet.
A gun?
Soon.
Not ever.
I need to get off that boat and back to being a full-time detective. And you need to stay out of prison. The best way we do that is to keep our heads down and do as we're told.
90,000.
90,000.
The department will cover it, right?
No, they won't.
Wild Cards. Stream now on CBC and CBC Gem.
Get the latest from Milano Cortina 2026 with the CBC News app. Breaking news, medal counts, and must-see highlights. Download the CBC News app.
girls. You know what I mean. My babies. Oh, can you believe that?
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players to an all-inclusive betting app that's got you covered.
Hi. When you win, you get paid fast.
Secure, easy cash outs are like our secret player handshake.
Because claiming your winnings should feel like a day at the beach.
BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
Back in the Milano Santa Giulia Arena, 2-2 between Canada and Czechia just before the third period. The late Pat Quinn, one of the more intimidating and comforting presences in the history of Canadian hockey. He had a great line on emotion. It can be one of our biggest enemies and one of our best friends. Canadians seem to be channeling the emotion the right way in the latter half of the second. There's Wayne Gretzky, who's in the building tonight. It was his emotion that helped get Canada going back in 2002. It is a delicate walk, especially in a tie game of a win or go home game. Chris.
And it's a fine line, Mike, for both teams. And Czechia has been walking that fine line as you see Radko Gudas in the penalty box to start this third period. Sidney Crosby did not come out for the third and will not return to this game. So the power play has 49 seconds remaining. David Kampf wins the opening draw of the third period. Kiel McCarr played 10:21 in the second period. And starts on this power play with McDavid. Into Czech ice, checked by Šimik. Second try, he's able to send that out, and it, I think, hit the linesman and into the Czechia bench.
Johnny Murray trying to shake that one off. He's going to be just fine. The puck's getting cleared out. Got him in the back. So Canada, 27 seconds of the power play. These power plays that straddle of intermission are actually hard to be effective on when you come out. You're just not quite warmed up and in the flow like you were at the end of the period. Nate McKinnon wants his face-off in the offensive zone. Not going to get it.
And again, a face-off win by Czechia to turn Team Canada back. Late stages of a power play. And McDavid to McKinnon. Here they come. McKinnon's pass, Aaron picked off by Kasha, rolled back, and that should do it. One shot on that power play, failed to break through, and now it's dumped in by Marner. Marner with a hit on Ruda. Pasternak ahead. Onto the right side, Chervenka. Teams is there defensively. Now Theodore around. Mark Stone off the boards. Nick Suzuki and Mike, you got a souvenir.
Yeah, keep your head up down here. Can't be playing on your phone. So I think for Canada, they had all that momentum to end the second period. It probably came at the exact right time for Czechia. It's just everything could slow down, calm down, and Canada's got to try to ramp it back up again.
Sedlak won that draw. That's 3 consecutive faceoffs to start the third period for Czechia. Up ahead, Stone rolled off his stick. And Marner will take over. Fires it in from the red line. Suzuki looking for a retrieval. Stone had it knocked off his stick. Quick stick there by Schlappick, and away goes Nietzsche. Blows the tire as he swung it in towards Binnington. Doughty up the boards. That's knocked down. Doughty and Nietzsche's battle. And a hand pass, I believe, halts play. And the faceoff comes outside the line.
Mark Stone was all over that one. He was making the call before the officials even were able to. Ron Blue in the second intermission. What would he say, Chris? If I could have told us before the game we would be 2-2 going into the third period, would we take it? as a group, if you're Czechia, of course you would have taken it. You would have taken it and run. To be one shot away is all they could have hoped for heading into this game against Canada in the third period.
I mentioned he blasted them last night after 2 against Denmark, but this is, as you mentioned, a completely different team we're watching here today. Here's Hagel trying to work his way in front. Back to the line, Doughty. In deep it goes. Horvat swings that right on goal. A rebound comes back to him. Doughty, Harley, fanned on it. Able to play that into the corner.
Horvat got clipped up high with a stick, but I think it was
reactor Hagel.
I think it was Hagel got hit, but I think it was on the follow through from an attempted play on the puck. Caught him near the mouth, which is not a penalty. The referees are getting together to talk about it.
Yes, the linesmen are.
But that's a
talking about
that's a follow through. He's on his knees, but it's still a follow through by Kempney. Now, you have to hit the puck on that follow through.
Yeah, if they consider that a shot and follow through.
I mean, a pass, that doesn't have to be a shot. But you have to hit the puck. You just can't be swinging wildly at anything.
Right. Long discussion. Veterans Johnny Murray and David Breezeblaw.
I think nothing will come of it. Face-off should come outside. At both benches, the moment, the pressure, the magnitude of what's at stake. Every little call, every little whistle is hotly debated on both sides, from the benches out to the refs.
Marchand exchanging his views on the play. And a fourth line comes out for Czechia. We haven't seen a lot of. Tomaszek, Fleck, and Stransky. Reinhardt's on the ice.
He's playing in the
Marchand
middle. Sam Reinhardt.
And Wilson.
He's the center right now, Chris.
And again, the three wingers together. And Sam Reinhardt handling center ice responsibilities. A long lead feed. Wilson after it. Now Chervenko bumping it out to center. Reinhardt regroups it. Tom Wilson. Over the boards comes McDavid. Marchand checks out. Celebrini. And now McKinnon over the boards. And off a stick had Celebrini ducking deep into the Czechia zone. Up that right flank, Pasternak. Here comes Sedlak. He has a goal in the game. Binnington out to wrap it around. Makar for McDavid to the line and out.
Not a bad whistle, because Jordan Binnington's stick was at the face-off circle in his own end. So, Czechia have done a good job, though. The first 3.5 minutes of this period. Finished off the penalty kill. And have slowed things down to the neutral zone. That's where it all changed for Canada in the second half of the second period. All of a sudden, they were skating, even on the dump-ins, to get retrievals. Canada's got to find a way to slow them down.
Dudas from distance, puts it on Binnington, and it's flipped away. That's going to be icing Team Canada. So it is rather a quiet start to this third period, and the tension starts to mount.
For Czechia, the best way to defend is to grind it out in the offensive zone. And Canada could use some of that guy. Mark Messier, see Wayne Gretzky, all the greats in the building.
That's not part of 98, which was controversial. Every team announcement and unveiling has some controversial to it. Suzuki on the draw to come back to Hronek. He's been the busiest guy on the ice. Maybe a break here. Lead feed too far from Marner. He'll track it down. Dostal will try and play it away from him. Marner along the boards, and David Kemp comes back. Marner's former teammate, it's Stone, intercepting, and sending it back in. Dostal behind the net. That around, up off the ledge. Gloved ahead, and out they come. Schlappick sidestepped the hit, trying to give it back to Natchez. Thomas Harley. For Doughty. Off the stick of Stone. Doughty will try it again for Harley this side. Into the middle, Marner flips out. There's Suzuki. Doughty's on the move. Takes a heavy hit as he got it in deep. McDavid Celebrini back out. Team Canada was 16 slot shots in the game, 10 by the trio on the ice of McDavid, McKinnon, and Celebrini.
Well, that's great news for this line. It's not a great sign for the other ones, though.
And this line's provided both goals. McKinnon on a power play. Celebrini to open the scoring. Pass for McDavid doesn't work. Knocked down by Celebrini. Here's McKinnon back in. Around it goes to Celebrini. Back towards the other side. McKinnon let it go. Gudas up the boards. Parayko thought about moving in and now has to get back. Here's Pasternak trying to work his way around Sanheim. Sedlak on it. Parayko there, and McDavid will pick up the loose puck. He'll take off again. 97 into the zone. Cycling it around for McKinnon, but Sedlak was there defensively. And here comes Natchez. Knocked off his stick. Makar on it. Devon Taves approaching 6 minutes of the third. Taves will send it in and go after it. Taves bumped by Hronek. It comes to Jarvis right on. Loose puck in front. And Horvat from his knees tried to swing that in. Kept alive at the line. Makar downhill. He shoots. Looks for his own rebound. Good stop, Dostal. Around the horn to Hagel. Hagel's shot blocked by Shimmick. Got his own rebound. Harley on the backhand. Back to Hagel. Knocked away and out to center. Here comes Kemp. And Natchez will open up a little backhand. And Binnington. Makar up to Harley. Red line and in. Reinhardt. Again, Reinhardt moves into the center spot with Wilson and Marchand. Back the other way. It's flipped in by Hurdle. In behind the net. Knocked to Wilson. His pass turned over. Chance, and that goes high. Close call as Andre Palat got a look. Just shy of 7 minutes here in the third. A nail-biter.
The BetRivers app welcomes online casino players to an all-inclusive betting app that's got you covered.
Hi. When you win, you get paid fast.
BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
RBC Training Ground. Shifting, shaping, and sparking potential in over 20,000 Canadian athletes. That's how talent takes flight.
You're a boy, make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you're a big disgrace.
Kicking your can all over the place.
Delivery of the game presented by Instacart, the winning way to get groceries delivered. You think it is nervous participating in the Olympics? How about watching all of the families here to cheer on the Team Canada men that have all delivered in their own ways and helping these athletes get to the point of one thing to play in the National Hockey League, but of course representing their country on the biggest stage of them all. It's been a lot of tension within the crowd, and in the second period, a bit of relief. Tying the game at 2 when Nathan McKinnon connected on the power play, but that is where the score remains, and the angst continues to grow inside Santa Julia, Chris.
Feels like we're going to white knuckle this all the way to the end, whenever that might be. Has been one overtime game here. We were not involved. There's Pasternak behind the net. He's swung it across off a leg. It's Hronek at the line. Look for Pasternak again. And now Stone up off Marner. An overtime win by Switzerland over Czechia. And Czechia thought the Swiss had 4 on the ice for the game-winning goal in 3-on-3. Long lead pass, Schlappick loose. There's Schlappick, glanced off the glove of Binnington. Here's Marner. Marner tied up from his knees, trying to clear. Kept in by Schlappick. Nietzsche's was loose, but Marner recovers and clears. Jan Ruda, Stanley Cup winner with John Cooper in Tampa Bay, sends it in. Here is Celebrini, nice move. Got McDavid on the right. Harley jumping, Celebrini across, and that's behind Harley. Sent deep by Doughty. Schimmick up the boards. Andre Palat back. Another John Cooper, former protege, and a one-timer there that didn't have much on it from Natchez. It comes back to Natchez, can't control it, and back out at center. Michael Kempny ahead, and Doughty got a stick on that, and it puts the play offside.
The whole thing feels very tense right now. Both teams knowing as time winds down, one shot or one mistake. So let's get a little bit more cautious as they go down the stretch.
Anxious looking group, the brain trust of Team Canada looking on. Let's hope not out of the tournament. Sanheim stuffing it along the boards. Good work. Hagel jarred there by Gudas. Back is Tomashuk. Fleck out to center. And it will bounce back into Team Canada ice for Sanheim. Past 9 minutes of the third. Colton Parayko on the tape. Jarvis overskates the puck, and Pasternak turns back. David Pasternak to the line. Sedlak with speed off the side of the net. Hronek put it in front for Pasternak. In front, and Cherbinka put that over the net. Close call. Czechia. Pasternak, Cherbinka, and Sedlak. And it's Sedlak again. They have accounted for both goals for Czechia in the game. Hagel watching in front. It'll come back to Schimmick, and Binnington got a piece of that. Team Canada on its heels. They are unable to clear. That one off the stick of Jarvis. Back to Natchez. Cherbinka had it hop on his stick. He's out of gas and heading off. Centering pass there by Hronek, tied up. He kicks it loose for Natchez. In front of the net, and that ramped off a stick as Hurdle off the bench had a chance. Czechia with the flex past the 10-minute mark of the third.
The BetRivers app welcomes players like you with an online casino experience unlike any other. Come, with thousands of popular and exclusive games, our slots can run hot. I won! BetRivers, welcome to your online casino.
When pain shows up, Tylenol is on your team. It's like Nathan McKinnon having your back, even when your back doesn't have your back. Tylenol Extra Strength, your pain relief MVP.
Okay, gang, big win tonight. Yeah! With 4 video calls to her son during the game, 35 hours of watching Team Canada, some during work hours, 1 post that said Go Canada with a rock and roll emoji, and 3 highlight reels shared on her Mamacita's group chat. Our first star of the game, Maria.
I'd like to thank my family and especially my network.
Trust Bell 5G to connect you to Team Canada.
Connor McDavid before this year talked about peaking twice this season. Once here at the Olympics and then later in the spring in the Stanley Cup playoffs. He certainly has here in Milan. Usually a point a period he is averaging at this point. John Cooper said he has come here on a mission, and so will 97 have something to say about the outcome of this quarterfinal between Canada and Czechia yet, Chris?
Yeah, the whole country hoping he can extend that to 12 points in 12 periods. Chris Knobloch said he really wasn't playing well prior to Four Nations last year and was not completely delighted with his play, albeit scoring the game-winning goal, but he came into this tournament flying and has been since they dropped the puck here at Santa Julia. By the way, 9 assists for McDavid is an Olympic record in the NHL era. And 11 points in the first 4 games is the fastest 4-game start in the tournament. Matt Sundin had 9 in the first 4 games back in 2006. Puck loose. McDavid get a stick on it. McKinnon pinned along the boards, but able to try and keep it alive. Now Harley moves up. There's McDavid behind the net. He tried to tuck it in and Dostal able to cover.
A quick pivot by McDavid. He so frequently takes that puck behind the net and wheels around looking for passing options. This time he takes it, and Kepi's trying to close and takes it out short side and see if he can't find a little hole on Dostal. And they can use some more shots, some more offensive zone time, and some more face-off wins.
That puck flipped down, and Binnington has to steer it aside. Sanheim bumped. And out comes Team Canada. Wilson flying up there is Parayko. Parayko will dump it in along the end boards. David Camp there. Stransky glumps it down. Pasha out there as well as Parayko gets back. And Josh Morrissey skated hard today. Looks like he'll be available if Team Canada can move into the semifinals, but that is not a certainty with under 8.5 minutes to go in the third. Mitch Marner redlining in. Scored a big overtime goal against Sweden and Four Nations and then set up the game winner to win the tournament. Gudas ahead. Away goes Pasternak. Across, Gudas kicked away. Big stop, Binnington off Radko Gudas. Now Stone sidestepped the hit and deflects it in. Big hit there by Suzuki. Comes up with a puck. Back it goes, Harley. Shot blocked. Nature's trying to get away. Doughty's back. Pasternak across and scores! Andre Palat! Of the tournament for the veteran Palat.
Activate, shot block, and get beat back up the ice. Nate just drops it back. And Palat is right between the hash marks. As Canada just gets beat up the ice by Czechia. Classic counter punch. And look at the bench. Now just 7:42 away from the upset.
Cup winner with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's always been clutch. But if all that said, that might be the biggest goal he's ever scored. Connor McDavid trying to get it back. Over the line is McDavid with McKinnon. Dropping it off. Here's Theodore. Celebrini. No shot. He'll hold on. Get it to McKinnon. McKinnon fires. Dostal drops it loose, knocked wide. Harley. McKinnon tied up. It goes to McDavid. Up along the boards by Hronek, who has been so good in this tournament. Celebrini right on. Rebound. McKinnon swung at the loose puck, and then he and Dostal exchange jabs. Close there. McDavid back in. Connor McDavid leaned on by Campus, entering pass, and back the other way comes Natchez, and Kasha turned over at center. McKinnon's going to come back in and had it knocked away from him. The big line goes off, and now sent in by Horvat. Team Canada looking for a hero now. Horvat looked to center. On it is Jarvis. Tried to leave it there for Hagel. Sent to the line and out. And Stransky trying to corral it there for Czechia. 35-20 the shots in favor of Team Canada. But Andre Palat from Natchez at 12-18 has Czechia in front.
Canada was pushing. Harley activates. The shot is blocked by Hurdle. Goes right to Natchez. It's a 2-on-2. So Palat beats everybody else back up the ice. Stone, Harley, Marner can't get back, and Doughty, there's nothing he can do. He's got Pasternak for a one-timer if he challenges Palat. Palat puts it in the back of the net to retake the lead.
Wilson fire it in. Here's Shea Theodore. That didn't touch Marner, so it is icing. 5:56 on the clock.
Czechia's going to keep backing up, keep loading up the neutral zone. Canada's going to have to get it in and win something off the boards. Don't know if anything off the rush will be available.
Well, of late at the World Championships, the quarterfinal has been a surprisingly difficult hurdle. Good play there by Marner to knock it loose. Suzuki rolls it in. Back goes Kempny. And Gudas lost it, came out in front. And Dostal has to cover quickly with Nick Suzuki on the doorstep. But Czechia has taken control. 5:38 left.
I just MailChimp my marketing.
You MailChimped your what?
I just MailChimp my marketing with MailChimp's new Shopify integration, turning data into more revenue.
I just MailChimp improved my orders by 9 times using real-time behavior data.
I just added SMS across 10 different countries from the same account. Got him.
Mine.
MailChimp my marketing, the
Now my reach and revenue are through the MailChimpin' roof.
Play it like the Professional Women's Hockey League. Home of the fastest, the fiercest, the best. From every day of the week to every 4 years. This is the game that asks us to be more, not less. More united, more fearless, more us. This is the PWHL. Play it big.
For Czechia to win this game, you knew that Lukáš Dostal would have to be brilliant. As the game has worn along, the shot clock has climbed in favor of Canada. 36 shots now, but just 2 against, and he has been rock solid. And is not having to do too many acrobatic saves, but lots of volume and good rebound control as well for Dostal. Now 5:38 away.
28 years after Dominik Hasek shut down Team Canada. Hasek with 24 stops in that game, and then perfect 5 for 5 in the shootout. Like we did a game, Maple Leafs in Anaheim, January of 2024, where he made 55 saves. Makar up ahead for Celebrini. Watched there by Šimik. Tried to get it to McDavid, and it's an icing call against Czechia. They've been waiting 12 years for this, and now they have 5:19 to try and stay alive.
In the third period, Czechia is winning 70% of the faceoffs. So down the stretch, controlling these opportunities becomes even more important.
Strange because Canada had the upper hand prior to that. And there's another face-off win. Off the boards, down, and they'll have to do it again.
Cooper trying to see, does he want get somebody else out there? Bruce Cassidy's already gotten the 6-on-5 formation on the whiteboard. Canada hopes it doesn't get to that.
By the way, we did see the practice that yesterday. 6-on-5. Off the draw again, Czechia controls. Flipped away by Andre Palat. Here's another Palat chance, and that one deflects wide. Makar to McKinnon. And he just got rid of it to center. Gudas is there. Palat plays it back in. Quiet shift for the big line so far. McDavid going to try and change that. At center, a pile-up. McKinnon has to get back on side.
They're basically double and triple teaming McDavid. Every time he swings for the puck, there's a bump, and then a defenseman on top of him as well.
Goes stall out. Michael Kempney missed it. Comes around here, Theodore pinching along the boards. Kemp will knock it loose and out. Thomas Harley at the wheel, trying to make something happen. Fires it in. Knocked down by Dostal, and there is Suzuki playing it. The pass for Marner doesn't work, and right back out. Czechia sitting back, clogging it up. Around it goes, and that one Pasternak came up with, and now they'll counterpunch. Sedlak, Cervenka, in behind the net for Pasternak. Knocked away, and now Suzuki turns. Here's Suzuki into a shift here. He's going to keep going on his own as everybody else changes behind him. Good work by Suzuki. He'll knock it free for Jarvis. At the line, Taves shooting. Scores! Nick Suzuki! He just did.
Late in the shift, he keeps it alive to try to get some offense his own time on a puck that's going 3 feet wide. He reaches out with the perfect touch, backing down through the 5-hole of Dostal, and Nick Suzuki, who would have been kicking himself for the missed chance in the second period, gets a tying goal, sparking a celebration with his family and the Canadian bench.
16:33, the time of the goal. Taves and Jarvis on the assists as the support guys come up with the biggest goal of the tournament so far.
They can't be support guys anymore with the way the lines have gone, with the injuries to Crosby. Nick Suzuki has to be the player he is, which is a prime-time guy.
McDavid wins a draw. Here's Makar putting it on, and the rebound got by Makar. McKinnon covers the point. That shot knocked down, and David Kamp's out. So now we're into next goal wins territory, aren't we? In front of the net, and McKinnon knocked that away. Around it comes, and McDavid can't corral that. This has been something. Celebrini will send it in. Fans in an uproar here at Santa Julia. Sedlak tried to move that puck to Cervenka. Didn't work, and now it gets flipped back into the Czechia zone. 2.5 left in regulation time. Hronek plays that off the inboards. Binnington not going to take any chances.
trying to remain composed when there is so much emotion coursing through the Canadian bench. Part of their challenge. And Suzuki starts to play. Great look at it here at the style, trying to find the puck, and Suzuki gets to it all alone. Taves puts it out there. Hagel doesn't get it, but Suzuki does.
Off the face-off, Czechia controls. Off Binnington, hurdle tied up in front of the net, and Canada gets back to take it away. Marner with the lead feed. Horvat's in. Watched by Hronek. Mark Stone in the corner for Marner. Shimmick on him. Centering pass for Stone, knocked away. And now played out to center. Past Natchez. And that will roll for icing. 1:50 on the clock.
And then it gets another offensive zone face-off. Chance to get the big guys out. It has been McKinnon taking it. But McDavid's going to slide in for this one.
That is Nick Suzuki's first senior international goal for Team Canada. McDavid wins the draw. McKinnon to Makar. Plays it to the net. It went high. Dostal bumped. Dostal down. And he gets up. Play continues. Heavy traffic in front of the net as Makar sailed that over the Czechia goal. Taves will play it back in. Celebrity first man to it. Off the boards, and now McKinnon in behind the net, trying to get it to McDavid. Back to Taves. His shot blocked. It's a break. It's Natchez. Gordy Natchez and Binnington with the biggest stop of the tournament.
Natchez with the break. He's in alone on the fan shot with his blocked. And with that great speed, he's trying to open up Binnington. He makes the first save and the second. He tracks the first rebound and is able to make the second save as well. Jordan Binnington, who hasn't been busy, saves his best for late.
Sedlak and Suzuki. Sedlak won it. That shot wide. Chervenka, the 40-year-old senior statesman. In behind Pasternak.
What a stick. Mark Stone dropped back down and got Chervenka.
And the puck slides all the way back. That's picked off. Suzuki's in. He's around Kempney. Cutting in behind the net. Unable to hook that back in front. Final minute, clock ticking down, and Drew Doughty's got it. Stone in with Marner. Stone holds on in the slot, and he couldn't get that to Horvat. Gil Makar, 20 seconds left. Following up Horvat. Makar short side. Trying to center it again and hurdle. Disrupting that. Final 10 seconds of regulation time. Devon Taves deflected in by Horvat. And for the first time in the tournament, Team Canada is headed to overtime thanks to a clutch goal by Nick Suzuki from Taves and Jarvis at 16:33. Andre Palat thought he had a game winner, but Nick Suzuki had other ideas.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
Get them just how you like.
Instacart lets you choose your bananas.
From green to extra ripe.
Use the app to control your bananas.
What a time to be alive. I gotta go sleep. What a time to be alive. Sweet, get it.
Where does bravery live? In William Danjanu, who's breaking the mold of a short track speed skater with every stride. And in Sonia Schmidt, who spends her off-season planting trees to afford her Olympic dream. It lives inside Mikkel Kingsbury, who dared to speak his dream out loud and then dared to make it come true. Where does bravery live? Inside every Canadian, in the moments that define us.
Your story is out there. Can you feel it? Plan your visit with Parks Canada.
We've come a long, long way together.
Our gear, our games.
All right, how's this for a plan? We put Mark at center. Alex and Connor gonna go up and down all game long, and we got Casey posted up in the office.
Wait. What about Leo?
What about Leo? He's not playing.
Why?
It was a game misconduct. He didn't make his bed. He's in a bit of a slump.
But with everyone scattered around the house, isn't that going to slow down the game?
Not with their Wi-Fi.
Connect to Team Canada on Bell Pure Fiber.
So away we go to overtime, 10 minutes. 3-on-3 during these elimination games. If still tied, we will go to a 5-round shootout. At last year's Four Nations, overtime goals by Mitch Marner against Sweden, and then the tournament winner by Connor McDavid. Olympic Games, Sidney Crosby with the biggest overtime goal that Team Canada has scored, but he is not available. Mike, just a correction by me that Nick Suzuki had not played at a World Championship senior level, but that is his second goal because he had scored earlier in this tournament. But that's the biggest so far.
Well, John Cooper is going big to start. McDavid, McKinnon, Makar. And I wonder if Sedlak is the face-off, get-off Fogo guy, or will he stay if he wins?
With Pasternak and Hronek. Boy, with those three guys on the ice, you gotta think advantage, but Czechia's got the puck first. A little talk about, here's Sedlak. It opens up, backhand, he missed. Makar trying to get on that, he's got it. Here's Makar, he's gonna wait to get some help from McDavid and McKinnon. And Sedlak is off, Pasternak is off. Hurdle and Natchez come on. McKinnon dances in. Taves is on now. Nathan McKinnon. 97's got it. Connor McDavid trying to get it back to McKinnon. And now rolls back to Taves. McKinnon will leave it. Connor McDavid fires it loose in front. Czechia able to get on that rebound first, and Natchez will weave out. McDavid was going to head off, so was McKinnon, but they've got to defend. Natchez across, Binnington again. Huge save there off Šimik.
McKinnon, McDavid, a little uncertain on the change. Open up Šimik.
Now Celebrini with Marner and Harley. Mitch Marner through to the net, scores! Mitch Marner, game winner! Team Canada headed to the semis. Overtime goal against Sweden and Four Nations. This one much bigger than that. Mitch Marner sends Team Canada to the semifinals. And once again, Mike, as was the case in the Four Nations final, Jordan Binnington had to make some clutch stops first.
Big when he had to be. The nature save on the breakaway. And Mitch Marner winds up, and he's thinking about getting this over to Celebrini. Sees a little seam, but just keeps going. On his back end. Not sure if he's going to be a threat. Kasher playing the pass lane. Shibik's playing the pass lane. And Mitch Marner, never a bigger goal than that right there. Sending Canada to the semifinals in overtime again. And to think it's been a top-heavy lineup. It was Suzuki to tie. It was Marner to win. They needed their depth to be difference makers. And they were at the most clutch time required.
With his former teammate David Kemp, 1-on-3 for 93. And Team Canada able to avoid what could have been a shocker here today. Andre Palat thought he had a game winner. Nick Suzuki clutch. And Radko Gudas offering congratulations at the Team Canada bench for John Cooper. The Marner family delighted. And Miles may not remember this, but he's going to get reminded of it throughout his life. They'll play for a medal. You know, there's only one they're playing for, and they're still alive. 4-3, the final, in an instant classic at the Olympics.
James Duthie back with you. Take a big, deep, collective breath, Canada. This kind of drama we expected maybe in a gold medal matchup against the Americans, not in the quarterfinals against the Czechs. Just remarkable drama here in Milan as Canada somehow survives with a trio of heroes. Nick Suzuki, Jordan Binnington with a massive save off Natchez in regulation, and then another in overtime, and John Cooper just shaking his head. And of course, Mitch Marner, the overtime hero for Canada. They salute the crowd. They all look emotionally exhausted. McDavid and Celebrini arm in arm, knowing they will get to do this twice more. A semifinals, and then they would hope a gold medal game. And here's what we've gotten used to. John Cooper bringing the troops together. Kevin Bieksa, Cassie Campbell, Pascal, Elliot Friedman alongside.
It was Binnington. It was Marner. And the boys got it done.
Let's just let the crowd take them off for a few more seconds here. They will get a day off. We know now they will either play Finland, Switzerland, or Sweden if the Swedes can knock off the Americans in the final quarterfinal tonight. But Canada
off to the semis in the most dramatic fashion. You were the only person we didn't hear from there. Do you want to hear now? Yes. That was stressful. That wasn't the best game ever. That was the most stressful game ever. Canada exhale. What a win. What a come from behind. And I don't think anybody expected it to happen this way. Canada is very top heavy, you know, because they have the 3 best players in the world, McKinnon, McDavid, and Makar. But it took the depth. It took the guys that maybe weren't seen playing a biggest role. How many people had Nick Suzuki out of the lineup for tonight's game? And he ended up playing every 3 shifts after Crosby went down, scores a big goal to get them going there, and then obviously Martin doing the job in overtime. So, whoa.
Yeah.
I don't smoke, Elliot, but I'll have one with you.
No,
you do
Marlboros
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And you mentioned the heroes. Mitch Marner, we saw this at Four Nations where he scored the overtime goal in the first game against Sweden. He sets up McDavid for the biggest goal for this generation of player because they hadn't been to the Olympics, and now this.
You know, Marner on the big stage here, as you mentioned, Four Nations gold medal game, 2 assists, this one, this goal. He is absolutely delivered. But you could go around that room, Suzuki, Binnington. Again, remember, at the beginning of this tournament, everybody was doubting Binnington again. How can you bring him here? How many times is he going to show that there's no doubt for him on this big stage? What a great goal by Marner, 1-on-3. You know, Crosby goes down, and, you know, Cassie, you said it, not the players on the bench. The game changed for Canada when Crosby got hurt. Everybody woke up and said, hey, he's not here to bail us out, and they were the better team for most of the time after Crosby went out.
And, you know, this was a line, if you think about it, Kevin, you alluded to it as well. When Crosby went out, they kind of got disheveled. They were lost there for a bit. They didn't get a lot of shifts. Stone stayed with it. You know, he battled throughout this game, but he made a great defensive play there late. Marner stayed with it, obviously, with this huge goal. The boys just found a way to sit when they had to sit and to play when they had to play. They had to fight for every single inch. You got to give a lot of credit to the Czechs on how physical they played the Canadians. They played their best game in this game. They gave the Canadians everything they could handle. And some way the roles, they just stayed in the roles. They understood the roles, and they were just able to get it done.
Big exhale by my boy, RJ Celebrini, right there as he walks by. Cassie, how fun was it when they went to overtime and we're like, okay,
tonight?
Yeah, you know, just kind of saw I had a hole there. Lucky enough I was able to get it in a spot that I could get it off my stick and into a spot that I thought I had a chance to go in, and lucky enough it did. So, but I mean, just the whole game was a battle. Guys didn't quit. You know, we stayed and trusted our systems and ourselves, and we got rewarded for it.
What were those last few minutes like as you pushed to having to tie the game for a second time?
Yeah, just keep pushing, keep trusting in what we're doing, and know what will come. I think that's where you know, really take a lot of pride in our team and our group there. So we just stayed with our program, stayed with just pushing, and as a massive tip by Nick.
You're saying Miles maybe still too young to remember all of this here at the Olympics, but what does it mean to have a memory he will remember here at some point going forward?
Yeah, it's like I was speaking to you about it yesterday. It's a special thing to have my son here. You know, he just makes you feel so much love and so much calmness, and, you know, makes you kind of forget about your day job in a lot of days. So, yeah, it'll be a cool thing to look back with him at one point in time on the couch and just talk about this memory that, you know, he was a little guy for. And I don't know, he might be sleeping, to be honest, in the crowd on Mom, but it'll be something cool to look back with him, especially.
Thanks very much, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Just has proven to be extremely clutch for Canada. I was just thinking, Elliot, what if the return to Toronto Vegas game was the first game after the Olympics? Would that change the reaction of Leaf fans? I'm not sure, but
I don't think so.
Yeah. Nick Suzuki, you said it. I think in the buzz in the day off before this game, you know, whether John Cooper considered it, who knows, but there were a lot of Canadian fans saying Nick Suzuki should be the guy they sit for this game. And for him to play hero in that way, and it wasn't just the goal, but that entire shift, Kevin, which ends up saving Canada.
Well, I said I could see the reason he would sit is because he's a centerman and he's not playing center. He was playing on the right wing all tournament with McKinnon, and he's just not a winger. So with the Crosby injury, they elevate him right back to his position. Now, he's the only guy in his line that stayed out here. Everybody changed. He's basically just trying to buy time for the new guys to come off. He's like, oh, I'll hang around the front of the net, and he gets that beautiful tip right there. And I looked at all of his ice times. He scored in the first game of the tournament against the Czechs. He scores in this one. I thought like he played way more. He played between 13 and 14 minutes every single game. So he's consistently been involved. It just felt like he played a lot more minutes and more important ones tonight.
And Doug Armstrong wanted to give John Cooper options for, you know, injuries. He wanted to give this roster versatility, and Nick Suzuki was that guy. He was the guy that could play wing, play center, and obviously can play in huge moments.
And finally, Jordan Binnington. I kept marking down during the game after it was 2-1 Czechia. Good save by Binnington, important. Good save by Binnington, but nothing more than the one late in the game and the one in overtime, both basically clear chances that could have been the end of Canada in this tournament. You made the comparison. Almost identical to some of the saves he made in overtime against the Americans at Four Nations.
You know, I'm sure the U.S. players were watching and saying, I've seen this movie before. Like, they're playing here still tonight. Got another game. How are we going to call it another game? But, you know, this one too, and you almost didn't realize it in the moment, but Natchez has 2 shots at this. And he was Czechia's hottest player coming in. Like, he was basically carrying them in the last few games as they were really struggling. And so he not only stops the first one, but he stays with the second one. And this one also, like, just a coverage breakdown. He's right there. And, you know, it's and you said it too, James, it'll get forgotten a bit because of the ones he made here. But he made a couple in regulation in the third period when it was tied, 1-goal game. I feel like we say this every year now. When are we going to stop doubting this guy and say no matter what is going on with the Blues, when he puts on that jersey, it's Clark Kent to Superman.
Just a wild afternoon here in Milan, morning in Canada, but Canada survives for now. And look, long way to go, 2 more tough games ahead, but if they somehow win gold, we will look back on this quarterfinal for a very long time.
The Dirty Dancing just coming in right on cue there, by the way, that song. But here's the thing. If everyone is feeling this way after a quarterfinal, James, get ready for your nerves to be shot the rest of the way. Connor McDavid entered this game leading with 9 points. The tournament, he extends that to 11. Here he is with Kyle.
Connor, how would you describe the test of resolve your team was put through here tonight?
Yeah, it was tough, obviously. You know, they're a great team, and keep saying it's tough to beat a team twice in a row, and you know we just saw them, and obviously they made a lot of adjustments, and a lot of them worked and gave us everything we could handle, and kind of hung around all night and just found a way. That's ultimately what it was.
Did you feel tension later? What were those last few minutes like in regulation?
Yeah, you know, obviously there was always an underlying belief, but you know, hard not to feel that tension in a quarterfinal at the Olympics, you know, in a tough spot, and you know, just found a way to get one. That's a huge goal by Zook, and obviously a bigger one by Mitch.
What have you seen from Nick through this tournament as he's trying to find his role in just the right moment, I suppose?
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are obviously trying to find their way through the tournament. You know, we're trying to come together in a short period of time, and you know, little adjustments here and there, but you know, may never score a bigger goal than that.
Thanks very much, Connor.
Thanks a lot.
3 minutes, 27 seconds left to tie things up. That's when Nick Suzuki's goal came. All right, so here are some quarterfinal scores. We just brought that Canada-Czechia OT one to you. Slovakia with the 6-2 win over Germany. A lot of people had the Germans as the dark horse, but they are out. United States, Sweden, that coming up just after 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, and happening right now is Finland, Switzerland. Let's take you late in the first period. Ken Yager goes in on the forecheck, picks the pocket of Finnish goaltender Jussi Saros. He finds Damien Ria out front, who finds the open net, and that's 1-0 for the Swiss. And just a minute later, his shooter puts it on a tee for Nino Niederreiter, who fires a missile from long distance. My goodness, finds the back of the net. And the Swiss are up 2-0 after 20 minutes of play. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that game right here on Bell Olympic Winter Games Daytime. Stay with us.
Olympic Hockey, presented by Ozempic. Wondering about Ozempic? Visit ozempic.ca for savings.
Quickly out comes Czechia. Here's Cervenka to the line. That pass went off McDavid. Trying to take off again. He steals. He's in. Drop. Celebrini scores! Macklin Celebrini's got his 5th. And it's another setup by Connor McDavid.
One of the elements that is different when you play Canada is the speed of the close, whether it's on the back check by Connor McDavid, whether it's on the up ice forecheck, and that's Pasternak that McDavid turns over with just his speed and his pressure. And Macklin Celebrini can't stop scoring. That release from Celebrini makes it 1-0 Canada.
Our Steve Fellon has alerted us that Macklin Celebrini, youngest Canadian male in history to score a goal in an elimination in a best-on-best tournament. He has the icebreaker here against the Czechs. Cale Makar has marveled how Celebrini at 19, much more confident of a player, much better player than Makar said he was at that stage. You remember how Makar burst onto the scene with Colorado. The status of Celebrini this early in his career continues to grow with each passing game he suits up for Canada here in Milan, Chris.
It'll be swung back towards the Team Canada net. Picked up there by Taves and lofted to the line and out. Now ahead, just out of the reach of Crosby. Fed to Marner. Mitch Marner's in with Crosby. Taves had moved up, went to the front of the net, and now he'll backtrack. Tomaszek is out. Puts it in on Binnington, who shovels that away. Makar up ahead. That hit the stick of Pasternak, dumped back in to Team Canada ice. Devon Taves, nicely retrieved there, and a rink-wide pass, cut by Gudas. Here's Radko Gudas in front, a chance here, scores! Off a skated in, and the Czechs have tied it. Lukáš Sedlak has his first of the Olympics.
Sedlak would move to the first line with Cervenka and Pasternak. Goes to the front of the net where his big body can do some good work. But the one area that John Cooper was concerned about for Canada is puck management and turnovers. And that's going rink wide in the neutral zone where it's picked off. There's also a missed line change where there's confusion between Marchand and Stone. So no one back there to help the rush. And a good pass from Cervenka. No chance for Binnington. Turnovers and counters. It was Mark Stone, who's usually so reliable with the puck, turns it over, and the quick counterattack by Czechia has the game tied. It's a fine line.
Play on here. And Crosby didn't waste much time complaining about it. Ducks under a Gudas check there. Gudas leans on Crosby, who got it deep. Now Marner. Back it comes to the line. Swung across. And Theodore around for Crosby. Gudas there again with a bump. And it's played past Theodore. Great play by Marner. Crosby looks shaken up as he has gone to the bench in difficulty.
He's really struggling on the bench.
Yeah, he got sandwiched there on a hit. Gudas went after him a second time and had some help that time.
Nate just got him as well. Some concerning moments for Canada as their captain is still feeling the effects. Gudas got him right in front of me at the benches. And you wonder, his legs splitting apart there, if his groins are okay. And then there's the next one. Something triggered his right leg. I almost wonder if it wasn't the hit in the neutral zone that put him in an awkward spot. And you think about the consistency for Canada. Crosby's been there. He's leaving Canada down 1. In a tough spot right now. Nate McKinnon probably not entirely healthy. Sidney Crosby's dad watching that as well with a concerned look on his face.
Threatening, looking for the equalizer, and there is concern for the status of Sidney Crosby. Through it goes. Celebrini left flank. Back to McKinnon and across. McDavid down low. Celebrini. McDavid side of the net. Across. McKinnon scores. Nathan McKinnon power play goal. And it's tied.
There's Nate McKinnon. Little exchange between McDavid and Celebrini. McDavid understands what he's going to see here. He wants to go through the seam to McKinnon, then one stick handle and the layered screen from Hronek, and then Palat slides underneath. No chance for Dostal to see this. And an ill-advised penalty in the offensive zone from Michael Kempny. A little too exuberant in the scrum. Puts Canada on the power play to tie the game.
McKinnon from McDavid and Celebrini. And Connor McDavid 2 points in the game, now 11 to tie for most points in an NHL-based Olympic game. Hit there by Suzuki. Comes up with a puck. Back it goes. Harley. Shot blocked. Nature's trying to get away. Doughty's back. Pasternak across. And scores! Andre Palat! First of the tournament for the veteran Palat.
Activate, shot block, and get beat back up the ice. Nate just drops it back. Palat is right between the hash marks. Canada just gets beat up the ice by Czechia. Classic counter punch. And look at the bench. Now just 7:42 away from the upset.
For Pasternak, knocked away, and now Suzuki turns. Here's Suzuki, end of a shift here. He's going to keep going on his own as everybody else changes behind him. Good work by Suzuki. He'll knock it free for Jarvis. At the line, Taves shooting, scores! Nick Suzuki! Trying to find his role in this tournament, and he just did.
Late in the shift, he keeps it alive to try to get some offense his own time with a puck that's going 3 feet wide. He reaches out with the perfect touch, back and down through the 5-hole of Dostal, and Nick Suzuki, who would have been kicking himself for the missed chance in the second period, gets a tying goal. Sparking a celebration with his family and the Canadian bench.
Off the boards, and now McKinnon in behind the net, trying to get it to McDavid. Back to Taves, his shot blocked, it's a break, it's Natchez, Marty Natchez, and Bennington with the biggest stop of the tournament.
Natchez with the break. He's in alone on the fan shot with his blocked. But with that great speed, he's trying to open up Bennington. He makes the first save and the second. He tracks the first rebound and is able to make the second save as well. Jordan Bennington, who hasn't been busy, saves his best for late. certain on the change, open up Simic.
Now Celebrini with Marner and Harley. Mitch Marner through to the net, scores! Mitch Marner, game winner! Team Canada headed to the semis. Overtime goal against Sweden in Four Nations. This one much bigger than that. Mitch Marner sends Team Canada to the semifinals. And once again, Mike, as was the case in the Four Nations final, Jordan Binnington had to make some clutch stops first.
Big when he had to be. The nature save on the breakaway. And Mitch Marner winds up, and he's thinking about getting this over to Celebrini. Sees a little seam and just keeps going. On his backhand, not sure if he's going to be a threat. Kasha playing the pass lane, Shimmick's playing the pass lane, and Mitch Marner, never a bigger goal than that right there. Sending Canada to the semifinals in overtime again. And to think, it's been a top-heavy lineup. It was Suzuki to tie. It was Marner to win. They needed their depth to be difference makers. And they were at the most clutch time required.
So away we go to overtime, 10 minutes. 3-on-3 during these elimination games. If still tied, we will go to a 5-round shootout. At last year's Four Nations, overtime goals by Mitch Marner against Sweden, and then the tournament winner by Connor McDavid. Olympic Games, Sidney Crosby with the biggest overtime goal that Team Canada has scored, but he is not available. Mike, just a correction by me that Nick Suzuki had not played at a World Championship senior level, but that is his second goal because he had scored earlier in this tournament. But that's the biggest so far.
Well, John Cooper is going big to start. McDavid, McKinnon, Makar. And I wonder if Sedlak is the face-off, get-off Fogo guy, or will he stay if he wins?
With Pasternak and Hronek. Boy, with those three guys on the ice, you gotta think advantage, but Czechia has got the puck first. And a little talk about, oh, here's Sedlak. It opens up, backhand, he missed. Makar trying to get on that, he's got it. Here's Makar, he's gonna wait to get some help from McDavid and McKinnon. And Sedlak is off, Pasternak is off, Hurdle and Natchez come on, McKinnon dances in. Taves is on now. Nathan McKinnon, 97's got it. Connor McDavid trying to get it back to McKinnon, and now rolls back to Taves. McKinnon will leave it. Connor McDavid fires it loose in front. Czechia able to get on that rebound first, and Natchez will weave out. McDavid was going to head off, so was McKinnon, but they've got to defend. Natchez across, Binnington again. Huge save there off Shimmick.
McKinnon, McDavid, a little uncertain on the change, open up Simic.
Now Celebrini with Marner and Harley. Mitch Marner through to the net, scores! Mitch Marner, game winner! Team Canada headed to the semis. Overtime goal against Sweden in Four Nations. This one much bigger than that. Mitch Marner sends Team Canada to the semifinals. And once again, Mike, as was the case in the Four Nations final, Jordan Binnington had to make some clutch stops first.
Big when he had to be. The nature save on the breakaway. And Mitch Marner winds up, and he's thinking about getting this over to Celebrini. Sees a little seam, but just keeps going. On his back end, not sure if he's going to be a threat. Kasher playing the pass lane, Shimmick's playing the pass lane, and Mitch Marner, never a bigger goal than that right there. Sending Canada to the semifinals in overtime again. And to think, been a top-heavy lineup. It was Suzuki to tie. It was Marner to win. They needed their depth to be difference makers. And they were at the most clutch time required.
With his former teammate David Kemp, 1-on-3 for 93. And Team Canada able to avoid what could have been a shocker here today. Andre Palat thought he had a game winner. Nick Suzuki clutch. And Radko Gudas offering congratulations at the Team Canada bench for John Cooper. The Marner family delighted. And Miles may not remember this, but he's going to get reminded of it throughout his life. They'll play for a medal. You know, there's only one they're playing for, and they're still alive. 4-3, the final, in an instant classic at the Olympics.
James Duthie back with you. Take a big, deep, collective breath, Canada. This kind of drama we expected maybe in a gold medal matchup against the Americans, not in the quarterfinals against the Czechs.